Green face and all that stuff. So, oh man, that's a good question. Yeah, I got to go back and think about it because that was a Colorado kid, which meant that you never knew. Like you would have Halloweens where it was 70 degrees and everybody in the neighborhood's out, and then you'd have a Halloween where my parents would drive me around because it was a blizzard, and you just run up, and so you're wearing, snow jackets instead of. Yes. I bet you did. Yeah. Dude, my mind is totally blanking right now on really anything I would have worn. Huh. I need my mom to call in. She listens to the show. Mama Jeff needs to call in and tell me what I dressed up for. Businessmen? No, boring. We're hitmen. Billy the Ninja. Yeah, give us a call. Tell us what you dressed up as. 303-696-1971. Towards the end of middle school, where it started to feel like you shouldn't be out, right? Like you're just kind of like past the prime. Like you go through the little kid phase, then you go through the older little kid phase where it's like I can get as much candy as I possibly can. Like this is a candy harvesting evening. This is not about dressing up. It's not about hanging out with you. We are on a mission to get as much candy as we can. Right, right, right. And then once you're kind of over that, you're like, what am I? And then you go through the kind of rambunctious. Let's go out and TP our friends, and we can run around in the evenings, and people aren't really going to notice as much. So you go through the slight destructive phase that you go through in the kind of late middle school years. But by the time you hit high school, it's kind of over. And then you'd always get those kids that would show up at like 10 o'clock, the high school kids, right? So all the little kids come while it's still light out. And then, by 8 o'clock, most trick or treaters should be done. But then all of a sudden, the 18-year-olds with a mask around, like what simple mask can I have here for some candy at 10 o'clock? Like, yeah, right. That is good. So, there's always those funny memes about how there's two different types of girls around Halloween, right? And one will dress up like all out, really take it to another level, even look freaky or scary, and then you have all the girls that want to be cute, right? Right. And do you think that'll stop them? Nah, it won't stop them. Looking cute with your girlfriends is a powerful wearing MAGA hats and trash bags, which I think is a great troll, right? It lowers the temperature a little bit. You're not running around going, "I'm so offended by what he said." It's like, all right, you're gonna call us garbage? We're gonna go out as garbage for Halloween. So let's go to Scott in Idaho Springs. Good morning, Scott. You're on the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. Yeah. How's the Bojos up there? occasion. Go to ccu.edu/Pence to get tickets and learn more. Limited tickets are available for breakfast with Karen Pence, lunch with Mike Pence, and morning and evening lectures. Throughout the day, you'll engage in conversations on leadership, faith, and service with these distinguished guests. Please join CCU on November 15th for these events with Mike and Karen Pence. Go to ccu.edu/Pence to get tickets and learn more. Reminder, this is 10 days after the election. So there'll be a lot of analysis, and you can ask Mike Pence some questions. That's ccu.edu/Pence. We'll continue with a special Halloween edition of the Jeff and Bill Show.
Just freaking did that in this one.
Welcome back to a special Halloween edition of the Jeff and Bill Show.
Fair and dry on this
You don't know who I am.
Frightening. Temperatures will be in the 50s.
I am MAGA Trash. By the way, I love this yesterday. This is DJT.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
How do you like my garbage truck? So Joe Biden on a Zoom calls Trump supporters garbage, and we're all running with it. I've seen people showing up at polling places wearing trash bags, or just, and this is, I got my Turd Ferguson "Make America Great Again" giant red cowboy hat.
That is good.
So if you can't see, go over to the 710K and US X, Twitter, Rumble. You can see us there. Billy the Bandit.
Yes. You recognize this song? You gotta know this one. I might be quizzing you all day.
Dude, I know.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I was born in 81, but I left the 80s when I was 9.
Still, this is Duran Duran. But again, Hungry Like the Wolf.
Is Duran Duran the ones that got busted for lip syncing?
No, that's Milli Vanilli.
That's Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, no, how could you even? Hurts my heart. I was doing a bar trivia last night. I played Warren Zevon's Werewolf in London, followed by this song, Hungry Like the Wolf, into Black Keys, Howlin' for You. See the theme?
No, not at all. I'd be terrified.
No, but it's
people would love
you get the werewolf, you get the
werewolf,
and then you get the Hungry Like the Wolf, and then you get the Howlin' things. It's 3 wolf songs in a row. Did the same thing with Spirit, elsewhere, but we'll do that as well. We might do the Howlin' for You later. So yeah.
Let's go to the phone lines. Chris Wellington, good morning. You're on the Jeff and Bill Show.
Morning, boys. How you doing?
We're having fun, although it's not quite as fun as a Halloween on a Friday, but Halloween on a Thursday is okay.
No, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am way ahead of the curve on trash bag costumes. I have been doing trash bag costumes for 30 plus years.
You knew you were a piece of trash 30 years ago, huh?
Well, exactly. Head hole, couple of armholes, raid the trash can, couple of cans, hot glue, empty wrappers. I was white trash.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's really good. That's really good.
So get that one out of the way. That goes along with all the Trump stuff
amazing.
Right now. They get better. Take a trash bag, hung it up on a clothesline, stood back with a propane torch, kind of give it that little mottled look. Head hole, couple of armholes, white gloves, sunglasses, California raisin.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, I love these DIY.
I love the creative costumes, man.
The thing is they always had to be $5 or less. Take a green trash bag, same propane torch thing, camo pants, little bit of green makeup, Skeletor Slime Mountain slime. I was a booger.
Oh, that's like, a friend of mine, one of my best friends, his younger sister went as a roll of paper towels because they had, it was like a big cardboard tube that they had and they cut out eye holes and stuff for her. But the problem was that it came down below her knees. So it took my friend and I about a block and a half to realize that we could push her over whenever we wanted and she couldn't get back up. So that was kind of the thing that we kind of push and she so every couple of blocks. How could you not push over the little sister that can't get up? So that was kind of the thing. Again, she was middle school at the time. So it's not like we're pushing over the little kid, but still, you had to push over the middle school younger sister. Had to.
And the best.
What is the best?
The most tasteless. Head hole, couple of armholes, little piece of heater hose taped to my chest coming through the bag. Little sign says Massengill.
Oh, jeez.
I
went there. No, we don't have to go any further. We do not have to explore the joke any further than one. Nicely done. Nicely done.
That
oh
is
my God.
fun.
That is amazing.
Appreciate it, Chris. Thanks so much for the call.
Happy Halloween, man.
Hey, did you wake up this morning with joint pain? The weather changed yesterday. I don't blame you if you did. Does it hurt when even the most routine physical activity? Have they told you it's time for knee or hip replacement surgery? Stop what you're doing and listen. You deserve a life of comfort and ease with no surgery and no meds. At QC Kinetics, they can get you there. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative cellular treatments for joint pain. This is an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own natural properties. to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. Everyone's talking about this, and it's so cutting edge. The protocols developed by QC Kinetics are life-changing for so many people. Tens of thousands of satisfied patients with more every day. Yes, you can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, without downtime. Discover your options with advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. The consultation is absolutely free. Call 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986 with locations in Aurora, Superior, Highlands Ranch, and Colorado Springs. Get out there and trick-or-treat with your grandchildren as a result of it. Call QC Kinetics today, 303-900-8986. Coming up, you choose the news. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
RockyMountainBargains.com, where you'll always pay half price. Why pay retail when you can get what you want at 50% off? Just go to RockyMountainBargains.com and save. Here's this week's featured item.
A Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Serve coffee maker valued at $200. Get it now for half price.
Get it now at RockyMountainBargains.com for 50% off. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you always pay half price. Restrictions apply. Go to RockyMountainBargains.com for complete details.
Possibly the scariest Halloween song of all time. Viva la Vida by Coldplay.
I told them the machine do what I wanted to. Stupid machine, because you know what we should be doing. It should be this wonderful song right now. Bum bum, so good.
I'm down a Billy brain hole. I don't even know where I am.
So good. ELO, Electric Light Orchestra, Evil Woman. So good.
All right, let's go to Barney.
Yeah.
Good morning, Barney. You're on the Jeff
Morning,
and Bill
Barney.
Show.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Bill. I'm going to be nice to Billy, by the way, Jeff. So, you know.
Thank you. In the spirit of Halloween.
So, first off, Billy, the costumes back then, they really did suck. And you'd show up at class, and there'd be like one or two that had the homemade costume, and they were the best.
Yes, they were.
Those plastic things just sucked. And I'd have to admit that my first costume I really remember is actually Stolen Valor. I dressed up like a little Green Beret, and I guarantee you, if I'd have run across an army guy, he'd have been like, dude, that's not the right patch. That's
Dude,
not the right.
And you know those onesie things they'd have you wear, your mom would tie it around the back of the neck and it would itch all night. They were so uncomfortable.
They give you a snuggie a lot of
times. Yes.
Yeah. No good. No good.
Yeah.
But going back to Trump, because you said about him not being able to get in the truck.
Oh, yeah.
I've been driving since 1984. And over the years, I'd say probably 12 times, I've either hit the wrong step jumping into the truck or jumping out. Trust me.
Absolutely.
And that was when it can happen. Trust me. I'm not sticking up for Trump, but you got to give him credit.
Oh, I do too.
I love it.
It was right. It was
like
brilliant, man.
This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
It rolls
was
up in a
brilliant.
garbage truck dressed as a garbage
It's a
man.
brilliant visual.
I'm not going to say what Joe Biden always says, but he always says, son of a. So every time they do something, you got to think that Joe Biden's like, well, I'll be a son of a. Every time something, it's like, how in the hell could Trump turn this into a positive?
Yeah.
And he did. Barney,
Dude, he
great
did.
call. We got to
He
run
totally,
up
like,
and get
judo
you
flipped
choose
him on
the
that,
news
man.
now. But
Yeah.
yep, great call. Thanks,
He did.
Barney.
He judo flipped him on that one. But it is that time of the morning where we get to be more silly than usual. Yes, it is everybody's favorite fake radio news game show. You choose the news. I have scoured the interwebs for mere moments this morning for these fun stories about us dumb humans, giving them even more ridiculous headlines so that we can play this fake radio news game show. Why? Nobody in charge is awake at this hour. They're still shaking off the hangover, so we have a few minutes to be a little silly. Alrighty, and remember, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody or we're going to get in trouble. Okay, here we go. Gentlemen, Blake Olson joining us from the newsroom. Jeff Hunt, your stories are headline number 1, office hazards. Headline number 2, family togetherness. Headline number 3, it's God's fault. And headline number 4, watch how fast I am.
Watch how fast I am.
Yes, watch how fast I am. We've been talking about childhood memories recently. Remember when you were a kid and you bought new shoes? The one thing you had to show mom is, hey, mom, watch how fast I am. Well, strangely enough, some of the kids in our local schools and across the country have been showing exactly how fast they are in the new Crocs, and that's a problem, leading to these shoes being banned in dozens of school districts across our country because they come to a lot of tripping and sliding, and basically they're not very good shoes. They're very comfy, but not really good when you're a little kid running around. And there's so many kids that are tripping and falling, especially in the elementary school age. Elementary schools are starting to ban Crocs. They're also saying because the stupid little gibbets things on there that everybody's looking at that they're distracting. But most of the time it's because the kids slip and fall. And yes, I know that from people that work in elementary schools.
I remember the first day I showed up at school with my pumps.
Oh, yeah. That's like the day.
And then felt like I was going to just jump 10 feet in the air. It was amazing.
I'm sure. See, I go back to like the Buster Browns and stuff where you're just like, you think they're going to make you go faster. And oh, God. Okay. Shout out. Jeff will never remember this one, but shout out to my friends in the audience that remember Zips. Those are my friends. Those are my people. Those are my people. My Zips people. Yes. You know all about that one. Yes, you do too, Blake.
Zips were awesome.
They were so cool. Yeah. All right. And they totally made you run faster.
Go to a museum
to
get
proven.
what you guys are talking about.
It was a fact of science. You ran faster in your Zips. You had to. Yep. Said it on the commercial. They wouldn't lie to you. Okay, Blake Olson, your choice, sir. Office hazards, family togetherness, or it's God's fault?
It's God's fault.
It's obviously God's fault. The owner of an island volcano in New Zealand says you can't blame me for the people that died in 2019. I'm sorry, 22 people died in my volcano. But it was God's fault, obviously. Technically, the court is saying in Australia that, yes, he is liable because what he did is he basically licensed a tourist organization to take people up to the volcano, but he didn't do anything to secure the idea that they were following any safety protocols. Surprise! The tourist organization didn't have any safety protocols and killed 22 people when the volcano started to erupt. Yeah, not good for the T-shirts. You can't just
When
sell
did this
that.
happen?
2019.
29.
They're just
know.
human sacrifices to the
Exactly.
angry volcano
Yes,
god.
the angry, yes. It's like Joe versus the
That's right.
volcano. That's what he had to do. All right. Jeff Hunt, final choice this morning, sir. Office hazards or family togetherness?
Family togetherness.
Yes, family togetherness. Here we're traveling to the lovely state of Arizona. A man is speaking with deputies because they has a little too much togetherness. Joseph Hill was arrested last week on multiple charges, one of which is keeping dad in the backyard. Dad passed away a number of years ago, and he's been keeping him on ice in the backyard. Why? To make sure he can keep living in dad's house, which is rent-free. Housing costs are so bad, he kept the dead body around in order to make sure he had somewhere to live.
Yeah.
Yes. Yay, winning. That's it. That's the end of You
That's what
Choose the News.
People are resorting to doing to not pay property taxes.
Exactly.
Huh?
Exactly.
Wow, and rent. Well, coming up at the 7 o'clock hour, Lisa Frizell joins us. You're not going to want to miss it. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS. course it is.
Oh,
Of course. Yeah. Here we go. Sing along in the car. Yeah. The best part about it is the video can't hear the song, so we look like idiots. Well, okay. I look like an idiot. You're doing just fine. That's how we roll.
Gotta love those licensing agreements.
Yep.
That is a good song. Good morning. It's 7:01 in the Mile High City on this Thursday, October 31st. Happy Halloween. You've tuned into the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Billy Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights and hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Congratulations. You just woke up in the greatest country in history. Let's get to work. We are 5 days away from turning this thing around. We've got a whole hour planned for you of engaging discussions, critical analysis, most importantly, your calls and texts, because this is where Denver's voice is heard loud and clear. So grab a cup of coffee, Denver, and let's dive into the issues that matter most to you right here, right now. Coming up after news and comment with Blake Olson, Lisa Frizell, Colorado House of Representatives District 45 is going to join us. What are House Republicans going to do in light of this explosive allegations against Jenna Griswold that passwords were leaked online? She knew about it for 5 days, didn't make it public. The county clerks didn't know about it. And what's worse in all of this is that there's a person in jail in part because passwords were leaked from her office. So does Jenna Griswold need to resign? Does she need to be prosecuted? And what are House Republicans here in Colorado going to do about it? We're going to talk to Lisa here in just a second. But first, news and comment with Blake Olson. Good morning, Blake.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. Billy, you are killing it with the Halloween music.
Hey, I appreciate it. I got some more for you later on, man. I got some more for you. You're going to appreciate it.
And poor Jeff, he doesn't know Evil Woman.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. I
haven't
heard
gotta
that
go to
in 30
a library
years.
or a museum to catch up with you geezers
Jeff,
here.
Evil
remember,
Woman.
And see here's the thing, Blake, is he's saying he has to go to a museum to catch up with us. And here's the thing about it is, what do? They put all the best stuff in the museum. Yeah. So he's telling us,
for the young kids to come learn about it.
Yes.
Billy, play Evil Woman, please.
Oh, hang on.
Let me
get to it. Hang on.
play this. Jeff,
Okay.
this is like, I think this is a top 10 in my opinion.
Scrolling
Of all time?
through.
Top 10 of all time?
Yes. Man, I hear this and this just brings back my
Okay, we're coming.
childhood.
Hang on here. It's loading.
Oh,
it's loading.
my goodness,
Yeah.
man. When you played that, I was like,
Yeah. Here's the open.
Man, this is
So good.
so good, man.
We don't have really good piano and pop music anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
They use everything in this.
Yes, they do.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's so
You
good.
know what I think about when I
What?
hear that?
What?
Okay, and Jeff will be interested in this
Yeah.
too. I think about the Denver Nuggets
Oh,
because
yeah.
at the old Auditorium Arena, which is
Yeah.
now I think Belco Theater or whatever,
Yep.
in the old ABA, they used to come out and warm up to that, sent chills
Yes,
down
they
my
did.
spine.
Oh,
Oh man, thank you.
it's so
I
good.
appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. Anything for you, my friend.
I appreciate it. I'm on a highway to hell with AC/DC. 29 and clear outside in Denver. Expecting a high of 60 today. The 7-10 5-day forecast coming up. Our top story.
And I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, it actually makes you look thinner. I said,
The safety vest. Classic photo op. DJT wears the security safety vest, and he gives the great sound bites at the rally in Wisconsin last night after riding in a trash truck, making the most of Biden's garbage comment.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Trump wins the day again, but first, locally, Colorado's Secretary of State is staying put despite calls to resign. Jenna Griswold says she intends to help make sure that the election is safe and secure. She's dealing with the fallout of leaked passwords to voting systems. She blames an employee who mistakenly posted them on a spreadsheet, and the employee has since been fired. A new poll is showing Democratic Congresswoman Yadira Caraveo with a slight lead in her race against Republican Gabe Evans. The Fox 31 Emerson College poll shows Caraveo with just over 47% support from those surveyed, with Evans pulling in just under 46%. A poll published earlier this month had Caraveo and Evans tied at 44%. Just under 7% of those polled said they still haven't decided on a candidate. Get out and vote. The Kamala Khan campaign caught manipulating community notes to spread left-wing propaganda on X. According to the Federalist, the campaign is reportedly using a Discord server to swarm hordes of users to manipulate community notes. The strategy is also being used to limit community notes from showing up on Harris-affiliated accounts.
Side of this great athlete, I got to get up to that. So look, the first stair is like up here. I'm saying. So I had the adrenaline going and I made it.
You just heard Barney talk about, that first step, second step, pretty high. It's not easy. The media was ready to pounce, but it didn't happen. It was a big truck, and the crowd loved his story.
Sir, we have a vest. I said, well, should I leave my suit on and put it over the vest? But that doesn't look very good, right? That doesn't look good. So I said, all right, look, let me take it off. And then I actually said, I climbed into the truck, but so I said, how the hell do you get into this truck? It's way up high. It's a big one. This was a beauty. I said, you didn't have to buy it that big, right? You have to get it that big? They brought this brand new, gorgeous truck, wonderful driver. He looked like Cary Grant in his prime. You know that? He's beautiful
so good,
driver.
Man. Jeff doesn't know who Cary Grant is.
That a girl?
Said, man, this is bad. Now I have all the cameras are all what? Look at all the fake news. They were most of them.
You don't know who Cary Grant is, do you?
I know he's an actor, but I don't remember who he is. But
right. Really
but Trump
actor,
is so good.
Guy.
Look,
yes,
I mean, the traditional politician would run out there and go, "Well, what you saw there wasn't indicative of his health. He's doing fine, and it was." But he's like, "Have you seen how high these trucks? Do they have to be that high?" Like he's kind of a comedian.
No, he is. His timing's getting better and better.
My goodness.
And he just doesn't care, and that's what's beautiful.
Yep.
I mean, people like me who are like, just be yourself.
Yep.
Go up there and be yourself. And as hateable as he is by the left, everybody hates him, on the left, of course. Oh, my God, he's so horrible. Part of it is because of the way the media portrays him. But he is so likable, man.
Yep.
I mean, he's just, he's your...
And you got to ask who you want to listen to for the next 4 years.
No doubt.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, no, I agree. Or Trump, come on. The Khan and Trump both in Arizona today, DJT in Glendale with Tucker Carlson. A federal judge says a woman who accused Sean Diddy Combs of sexual assault cannot move forward with a civil lawsuit under a pseudonym. Tennessee woman filed a lawsuit as Jane Doe earlier this month, alleging she was raped by Combs in 2004. On Wednesday, the judge gave the woman until November 13th to file the suit under her own name.
Walker Buehler is 1 out away from a championship, from a proper celebration. Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
They've done it! They finished the job and give Los Angeles the parade it's been waiting for!
Dodgers over the Yankees 7-6, game 5 of the World Series. 25 in Boulder, 27 in Littleton, 29 in Denver. Jeff and Bill continue with the great music. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Sunny to partly sunny skies, fair and dry on this Halloween. Nothing too frightening. Temperatures will be in the 50s. Clear tonight, lows near 30. Highs will be 50s and lower 60s. Sunny, fair and dry Friday and Saturday. Clouding up Sunday, a little cooler. Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday, a chance of rain and snow showers with a cooling trend. Weather sponsored by Colorado's Best Roofing, reminding you to protect your home from the harsh Colorado weather and schedule your free, no-obligation roof inspection today at roofingcolorado.com. That's roofingcolorado.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Joining us on the Jeff and Bill Show, Lisa Frizell. She's a representative of who we listen to.
You don't recognize this one either.
No,
so sad. Should we ask Lisa if she knows this one? Oh, wait. She may not be able to hear it. I'm not sure if she can hear this or not. So that's
She's
not
on
fair.
the Zoom.
Yeah, I don't know. But I can't feed things down the board because of copyright issues. So Lisa may not be able to hear this one. Lisa, can you hear the music we're playing, or is this just like we're miming?
No, I can. I can hear it.
Yeah, see, she can't. So she can't play along right now. Yeah, here it comes. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Come on, you know this one. David Byrne, Talking Heads. This is wonderful. Psycho Killer. Yeah, Talking Heads, David Byrne.
Oh, the old guys, they
So
got
good.
control of the audio.
So good. We have so many good things coming up. I just don't have time to play all this stuff.
To get to the serious things, Lisa Frizell, she chairs the Legislative Audit Committee. She represents Colorado House of Representatives, District 45. And there's a lot of news with Jenna Griswold and the stories about leaked BIOS passwords being posted online, which this is controversial in part because, while it doesn't give somebody full access to the voting machines, it's one of two passwords necessary. And there's a person sitting in prison, not entirely, but in part, because the passwords they had for their county voting machines were leaked online, and she was found guilty of that. That's Tina Peters. So a lot of news happening in Colorado. Lisa, what do the House Republicans plan to do in light of this news coming out?
Well, good morning, Jeff, and good morning, Bill. It's good to be with you this morning. So as you're probably aware, the House Republicans issued a press release basically asking Jenna Griswold to resign yesterday. And that was well received. I thought it was a great press release, great letter that they wrote. It was a great message, and it was strongly worded. I doubt that Jenna is going to actually resign because of something that the House minority wants, and I think that the Colorado citizens deserve, because we deserve to have faith in our elections. Jenna has demonstrated that she is not capable of running that portion of the office in a way that instills confidence in the citizens of the state.
Now, I've heard from Republican leaders, including the chairman yesterday of the Colorado Republican Party, Dave Williams, on this show, saying that we could go further, that the Legislative Audit Committee could host an investigation into this and get to the bottom of what's really happening.
So I think that the Legislative Audit Committee absolutely can play a role, and I'd love to talk about that. What is really important to understand is the actual function of the Legislative Audit Committee, and that is we are tasked to review and release audits that are performed by the Office of the State Auditor. We can recommend special studies, of which this would certainly fall into that category. The Legislative Audit Committee does not specifically in and of itself investigate anything, but it's a really interesting committee. I'm pleased to be the chair this year. And it's also really important to understand that the component of the committee is comprised of 8 individuals, 4 senators, 4 representatives, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans. So Gabe Evans and I are the House Republican representation, and then we have 2 Democrats from the House as well. And then again, in the Senate, there are 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats. So the beauty of this committee is it is truly bipartisan, and it's unlike other committees that are primarily dominated by the Democrats at this point in time. But as far as Chairman Williams saying that we have the ability to investigate the committee itself. That is actually not the role of the committee at all.
And help me understand the difference between auditing and investigating.
So auditing is, there are three kinds of audits the state office of the state auditor can undertake, and sometimes they're combined. Financial audits, performance audits, and information technology audits. The audits occur, and they can take up to a year to go because they do very deep dives. The Office of the State Auditor staff is actually, in my experience, just some of the best in the state of Colorado. They're amazing, amazing employees and amazing representatives of citizens, because they do these deep dives into specific areas. And I don't know that I would call them investigations. They do look into specific matters. And the other thing, that the piece of it is, coming out of an audit, is the recommendations for changes to that department or division within the state. It's also important to understand that you can only really audit state agencies, not counties or anything really outside of the state, generally speaking. So I think an investigation would lead to some sort of, may lead to some sort of criminal charges. That is not the role of the Legislative Audit Committee. The the Office of the State Auditor. The Office of the State Auditor is really charged to make recommendations when they see something is not being done properly, and hope that that office or department or division will actually follow through on those recommendations. There is not actually a requirement that they do so, and we've seen that happen.
Gotcha. That's very helpful to understand. And so it sounds like that the Legislative Audit Committee could be a good tool to understand what happened, where there's breakdowns, and how the Secretary of State could improve. Because right now, the only investigation that's coming is coming from the Secretary of State's office. They're essentially investigating themselves. But if there wanted to be criminal investigations, would that have to come from the Attorney General's office?
Yes, that's my understanding. And I want to make sure that it's, everybody understands. There's been a lot of talk about the role of the chair, the role of the committee in calling for special meetings. It used to be in the Legislative Audit Committee's rules that the chair could unilaterally call for a special meeting of the Legislative Audit Committee. That is not true. That the rules were changed in 2021. And so right now, it requires a vote of 5 of the 8 members to call a special meeting. And it is the opinion of the state auditor that you can't call a special meeting to call a special meeting. And so we have, our next meeting is coming up in December, and that would be the soonest that we could call a special meeting. I am working with the Ed DeCecco, who is he oversees the Office of Legislative Legal Services and the state auditor, to look into this matter more, and we'll have a lot more information today on possible scheduling of a meeting, but at this point it seems unlikely. That said, and I appreciate your point, Jeff, is that this is a great vehicle to look into what has happened and get the answers for the citizens of Colorado. And that's exactly what I am working to do. I plan to put in an audit request or a request for a special study in the next day or two to the state auditor, and that will be voted on by the committee at the December meeting. And I want them to, my request is going to be doing a deep dive on what exactly is going on in the Secretary of State's office elections division that is causing this gross negligence that we have been seeing over the last 5-6 years. It is not okay, and we need to do something about it. And so my intent is to go through the appropriate channels, get an audit request in, hopefully get one Democrat to vote for that audit, because it's not an automatic thing. You would think that the Democrats would want to get to the bottom of this as well, but that's not a guarantee. So I have got to get one Democrat to cross over the line and vote for this special study or audit.
Well, I would hope it wouldn't just be one. I hope it would be all of them. And that's my next question. We're 5 days out from an election. The trust that the people of Colorado have in our election system has been broken as a result of constant mismanagement that comes from Jenna Griswold's office. What can we do in the next 5 days?
Well, first of all, everybody needs to vote, and everybody needs to please get your vote in. Your vote matters and your voice matters. This is a really critical message because as I understand it, there are some folks out there saying, don't vote, just don't vote. And that's not helpful. We all need to make sure that our voices are heard. As far as what can be done over the next 5 days, we have to trust our our clerk and recorders. I spoke to Sherry Davis, who's the Douglas County clerk and recorder, last night, and really wanted to get her take on what's going on. And she is very confident that she is going to be able to deliver good election results for the citizens of Douglas County. And she is not alone. Every single one of the 64 clerk and recorders across the state are working tirelessly to make sure that the votes are properly counted and reported.
Now, I want to go back to the Democrats in the House of Representatives in Colorado that you work with, your colleagues. Kyle Clark called for the resignation of Jenna Griswold. Colorado Polls has done an article highlighting that, essentially similarly calling for the resignation of Jenna Griswold. At this point, it's not just Republicans, but major progressive leaders, and yes, I put Kyle Clark in that category, are now calling for her resignation as well. Have you heard from House Democrats that they are concerned about Jenna Griswold's leadership?
I have not, but to tell you the truth, Jeff, everybody is working to either get themselves elected or get their candidates elected right now. I know that this is, for the Republicans, this is a huge distraction because we should be out knocking doors, getting the vote out, making sure that Republicans vote, making sure unaffiliated who are Republican leading vote. And that's what we need to be doing. This is the most important thing. We cannot affect change in the House of Representatives or the Senate unless we improve our numbers. And so while I appreciate Chairman Williams' sentiments on this, I would urge all Republicans to make sure that they're voting, their neighbors are voting, and let's get some seats back in the House. That's the only way we're going to really be able to change things. As far as Jenna Griswold goes, she should resign. And further, she should be criminally investigated because she has broken the law. And that is not really the role of the Legislative Audit Committee.
Well, and it goes to show Democrat incompetence in the state, which Republicans have been saying time and time again has been taking place across the board. Colorado is in a worse position today because of progressive leadership. And when you look at Jenna Griswold sending 30,000 mailers out, encouraging people to vote that couldn't vote, they're not here legally to be able to vote, sent that postcard out, fights to get Donald Trump off the ballot, takes talking points from Planned Parenthood. She is a incompetent leader. She's fumbled big time 5 days, 6, 7 days before an election. It showcases Democrat incompetence in the state. I sure hope Republicans would pounce on this and go, this is, and even though Jenna's not up for re-election here, but this is why you need to have Republican leadership in the state of Colorado. I sure hope that investigations can be launched, that pressure can continue to be put, because this gets to the heart of our ability to trust our elections. And Jenna Griswold should have always been, at the very beginning, a neutral referee. I mean, that's what the Secretary of State is. Prior to Jenna Griswold, most people didn't even know who it was. You had Wayne Williams there, but this was generally a nonpartisan office to run free and fair elections. She has taken it in such a partisan and incompetent direction that she needs to be removed for the sake of all Coloradans, not just Republicans, but all Coloradans, to be able to trust in the validity, safety, and security of their elections, which we cannot do under Jenna Griswold. So I sure hope that we'll see Democrats step up, and they should step up unanimously to call for Jenna Griswold's resignation. It should happen before this election. I mean, we were talking with Bill before you came on. I imagine that Democrat national leaders were calling Jenna Griswold, saying she needed to resign because they're handing Donald Trump everything he needs right now to complain about free and fair elections. Look at what we have in Colorado, the passwords being leaked online. And when that happened under Tina Peters, she was put in prison for 9 years. A person who did a similar thing, not entirely, but similarly put those passwords online, is serving as the Secretary of State. This is not right. So I hope that there's some changes that come between now and the election so that the people of Colorado can trust that these elections are fair.
Yeah. Now, I do want to put a pin on this. Lisa Frizell, Colorado House of Representatives, District 45. I want to close the circle to go back to something you said early on to make sure that the conservatives in our audience hear this, that the Legislative Audit Committee cannot initiate or do an investigation. You can only request an investigation from the state auditor, and that's what you're going to do. And the reason I'm outlining this to make sure that we are correct, when everyone in our audience wonders, why aren't the Republicans doing anything? There are limited actions that you guys can take this close to the election, correct?
I would say that that's a very correct statement. I'm going to go back to what Jeff was saying. Jenna Griswold needs to resign. It's really important that she does. She is making, the Democrats look bad, candidly. But it's really important for the sake of our election process to be truly impartial. She is a partisan hack. She always has been. And I don't believe that she is competent to run this election.
Lisa Frizell, she represents House District 45 in the Colorado House of Representatives, also serves as the chairwoman of the Legislative Audit Committee. My only encouragement, press anywhere we can for the sake of the people of Colorado. Press against this type of corruption that's taking place in Jenna Griswold's office. Lisa, thanks so much for taking time to join the Jeff and Bill Show.
Yeah, thank you. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, gentlemen. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Lisa. So what do you think of this? I'm getting text messages from other Republicans saying, no, we should launch the audit immediately, call the meeting immediately.
But you can't launch the audit immediately.
Lisa saying, well, we've got to take time. And
yeah, I'm not sure because I understand the feeling. And that's why I wanted to go back to what Lisa is saying is from what I'm hearing from her, she can't launch immediate audit. She can stand there and every 5 minutes request, can you do an audit? Can you do an audit now? How about now? Can you do an audit now? Can you do an audit now? But that's the only mechanism that I'm hearing from her that is necessarily available. She can't implement the audit. She can only request the audit.
She can request the audit, which will kick it off. But I think it adds another layer of pressure, which is important. And Republicans should, and she's getting clarity to her point. She's getting clarity from Leg Counsel as to whether or not she can call an early meeting. Other Republicans are saying, yeah, absolutely, you can call an early meeting. You just got to get 5 to do so. Yeah.
And my guess, that's probably pretty easy, based on the legalities. It's probably pretty easy to figure out. And my guess is, she probably has the ability
to call a meeting. And I think what's critical, though, is, you might not get a report or a full investigation the next 5 days. Clearly not. But it's about pressure. You've got Jenna Griswold on the ropes. And this is about Republican or Democrat. This is about the quality of our elections and the people of Colorado to be able to trust that. Republicans should step up and go, we are calling for the audit immediately. We're hosting the meeting immediately. Democrats, this shouldn't be one Democrat that comes over. This should be all Democrats for the sake of our elections.
Yeah.
You need to come over, join us. The audit needs to begin because then it's just another thing that pushes Jenna Griswold out the door.
Yeah. The other one is I'm curious whether or not the individual secretaries of state can go through and at least audit their machines prior, or at least
county
currently
clerks.
Right now, or county clerks. The county clerks go through. And thank you for that. Because can they go through and look at the mechanisms? Because if someone accessed the system that's held inside of the hard drive, you should be able to see it if they've used those BIOS passwords. And the other thing that but again, you can go through it, you can pull it, and you can take and look at it. And the people that are there in charge of the county clerks should be able to understand that, given the training, and they should be able to just run through it and be able to look at it and see if anybody's accessed it in the last few months based on those passwords. The other thing that I am upset with and frustrated with based on the Secretary of State's office, and I'm not sure why this would be necessarily something they wouldn't do, but why aren't they coming out and outlining, they talked about this is only one of the 2 passwords. No one's talked to us about how the access and those passwords would be needed, because my guess is that you can't necessarily use those BIOS passwords through wireless or those type of internet connections. And again, we don't have anything showing that the machines were connected to the internet at any point in time, but we have some that still have systems in there. Right. Yeah, but it has been disabled. Everything inside of it we have on the information has been, those things have been disabled, because that's what the trusted build does. The trusted build goes in and resets all those things. So even if someone had gone in maliciously and turned it on, the trusted build resets it. It's like resetting the system. So it resets it to know that those permissions are all not granted anymore. But I'm wondering if the BIOS passwords are needed to access it in person. And if at least you say, hey, in order to use these passwords you find online, the person would have to walk into the room and have access to the machine for this amount of time, and they'd have to have the second code, that tamps down a lot of the unknowns out there. Because I heard from friends yesterday, they're like, oh my God, this proves there was ballot fraud. This proves the fraud. It doesn't prove any of that.
But I had people proves calling me incompetency out of the Secretary of State's office.
I had people through social media calling me a liar yesterday and asking me whether or not I am ready to admit I was wrong about the stolen election in Colorado. I'm like, you don't even understand what's going on here. I mean, they have heard passwords were available online. Oh my God, Tina Peters and Mike Lindell are right. And it's Jenna Griswold, the Secretary of State's office. It's their fault for not outlining this, for not getting ahead of the story and outlining what is the risk and what is the potential harm. Again, as you go back to it, it's incompetence. I can't come to any other conclusion than just base incompetence on this level.
She needs to go. I mean, and to Kyle Clark's credit, even Colorado polls at a certain point, it's a bridge too far even for them. Look, I do want to bring this up, though. The Colorado Republican Party is looking to sue Jenna Griswold, and they're raising money to do so. So if you go to cologop.org, you can support their effort there. They're putting the pressure on. George Brauchler, we're going to talk to him next because he's been tweeting about some of these laws. So stick around. We're going to talk to Jorge. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
At this hour, I'm Christina Owayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is being mocked on social media after taking the podium Wednesday and flat out saying that Joe Biden did not call Trump supporters garbage. Listen.
Just to clarify, he was not calling Trump supporters garbage, which is why he this is why he wanted to make sure that we put out a statement that clarified what he meant.
However, Biden's comments went viral almost immediately after he said them during a Zoom call with Vote Latino.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The White House also sparking outrage after releasing the transcript, then altering it to add an apostrophe to the word supporters. In a victory for the GOP, the Minnesota Supreme Court says election officials in Hennepin County have to pick new board members to validate absentee ballots. Until now, the board has been made up of 1 Republican and 4 Democrats. Now, the court has ordered the state's most populous county to go back to a list of eligible election judges submitted by the state's Republican Party and pick new members. The court said this week that Hennepin officials had a duty to appoint election judges off the party's list before letting cities pick from it. The new court order does not invalidate any of the 263,000 absentee ballots already received.
That's what you need to know at this hour. In Dallas, Christina Owayo, Salem News Channel.
RockyMountainBargains.com, where you'll always pay half price. Why pay retail when you can get what you want at 50% off? Just go to RockyMountainBargains.com and save. Here's this week's featured item.
A Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Serve Coffee Maker valued at $200. Get it now for half price.
Get it now at RockyMountainBargains.com for 50% off. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you always pay half price. Restrictions apply. Go to RockyMountainBargains.com for complete details.
Oh, yeah. It's a good song. This is all about the kids tonight. This is the kids' theme song.
There's nothing about this. There's about the kids.
Yes, it is.
This is all old man music.
No, this is the kids' theme song tonight. You don't even know the song. In fact, we should bring up George Brauchler on the phone with us, because he should know this
George,
one.
I'm handing the show back to you, because apparently I've missed this by a generation.
Oh, this is a good song, though. Here it is. We're getting to it. We're getting to the
this
hook.
is the I Want Candy song.
There we go. My goodness. Yay. Look at my partner. Look at you. Yes. This is I Want Candy. Bow Wow Wow. Created by which music producer that also was big in the punk world? Malcolm McLaren. The guy that created Sex Pistols also creates this band, Bow Wow Wow, and does it by poaching members of Adam and the Ants band and bringing them over with a 13-year-old singer. This girl's 13 when she's doing this at the time.
Is she?
Yep. She's 13. Yeah. I know.
Did she survive the music industry, or did they rip her to shreds like they do
Survive
every
is
other
a
kid?
questionable term in the relationship to Malcolm. Anything you do with Malcolm McLaren, it's always questionable whether or not you survive that. He's not necessarily the best guy in the world. But yeah, so the guy that created Sex Pistols is the guy that created this. He put this band together. Yeah, by stealing members of another band. Oh, yeah, so good. Yep. Boom, boom. Yeah, that's the theme song for the kids tonight. All right.
All right.
Enough silliness. Back to the regularly scheduled portion of the show.
Well, joining us is George Brauchler. He's running for Judicial District 23 as district attorney, but used to host this show right here. And he's been tweeting a lot about the laws that put Tina Peters in prison and could possibly put Jenna Griswold in prison. Good morning, George.
Hey, Jeff, Bill, thanks for having me on. I do want to circle back to something you said earlier in the show. Jeff, I suffered a minor stroke when you confused Duran Duran for Milli Vanilli.
They're just names to me. I have no idea. They just sound like 80s bands.
Yeah, one is like
a group of 5 white guys.
Yes,
white guys compared with 2 African American dudes with long hair.
Yes, I mean, it's not even close.
Oh my God!
I know.
Like, was it Andy Bennett or Tupac? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, it's either Biggie Smalls or Andy Grammer. I can't remember which. It's one of the two.
I can't remember.
Yeah, one of the two.
Hey, can I bring up something about this tweeting thing that you brought up? Listen, I've tweeted quite a bit. I mean, I see your guys' posts, mostly Jeff. Bill, I don't even know if you're on Twitter, but
I lurk. I lurk. I do not tweet.
All I did was to cut and paste language, all the language from a specific statute into a tweet, and I put it out over Kyle Clark's interview, the link to his interview. Nothing I've ever done before matches the interaction that this thing has had. And I'm talking over 320,000 impressions in 24 hours, tens of thousands of likes and retweets. It was just the damn law. That's all I did. When I editorialize, I get 2 likes. When I just put the law in.
There you go. No, there's so many angles to this, George. You've got everything from Tina Peters being in prison to the general disdain for Jenna Griswold to the fact that she joined the lawsuit to try to kick Trump off the ballot to an election that's 5 days away from now. And then Kyle Clark surprises everybody and goes hard off of against a progressive. I mean, there's so many elements to the story. It's amazing.
There is a lot to unpack here. I'll just touch on a couple things I haven't seen anywhere else because, you guys always put out the best information. First off, on the Tina Peters thing, there's something called a 35B. It's a rule in the law that says that you can ask for a reconsideration of your sentence within so many days of the sentence. And it's usually, I think it's like 60 days. She could then file a motion, and she would, as a matter of course, her attorneys, and say, hey, this 8.5-year total sentence is inappropriate, and here's why. This should be Exhibit A for that motion. Not that it would get her out from under the other convictions. I'm not saying she didn't violate the law. All of that stuff is good. But when you look at any portion of the sentence that is related to the charges that grew out of her conduct in posting those passwords, I think a judge now has to look at this and say, maybe it really wasn't that bad. That's what the Secretary of State is saying. So this would be something that should factor into that. The other portions of this, and you guys have seen this, There's not a single thing Jenna Griswold has done up to now that signals to voters that I care more about you than I care more about me, because she doesn't tell anybody, right? Like, she won't even change the passwords to these computers, because she knows if she signaled that to the clerks, they'd be like, what the hell? Why are we changing the passwords? And that would be an indication she'd done something wrong. So Thursday, the 24th of October, she's given this information that, someone in your employ has just, I'm trying to use something other than blank the bed, but something with the bed on the Excel spreadsheet with the hide tab, and she tells no one. Now, she goes on Kyle Clark's interview, which I respect her for doing that, because, well, I guess I respect Republicans more because you know what you're going to get. I think she probably thought she was going to get a little bit of a media hug. That turned out to not be true. And she says, well, we've communicated with our federal partners. We should know the moment she communicated with federal partners. Was it the 5 minutes before the interview with Kyle Clark, or was it on the 24th when she learned this? She is in the cover-up mode right now, and I think that is as damning as anything else.
Well, and I can't imagine the pressure she's getting from Democrat leaders who desperately want to go into a national election with the belief that we won this thing fair and square. We don't want Donald Trump out there pressing anything. And you literally have a Secretary of State sitting here trying to cover up her own incompetence, her own office's incompetence. It's not just Republicans. I imagine there are national Democrat leaders trying to get her out at this point. I don't think she makes it to Election Day. Sorry. I just don't.
I think she does. And I think she does because of the state we're in, Jeff.
Yeah.
There is nobody here that has taken the action that they should have taken and would have taken had it been Wayne Williams or Pam Anderson in that position, right? Like, had this happened with Pam Anderson in office, you know that both Phil Weiser and Governor Polis would have been out publicly saying, we need to look into this. This needs to be addressed. Coloradans need to be able to trust their election system. It is mum's the word from those folks. And that's
right.
Crazy because Griswold has said to Clark and Colorado, I'm investigating myself. Don't worry, I'm going to look into this. If a county clerk had done the exact same thing that Jenna Griswold's office just did, she would have shut them down. She would have used her new powers under a new law she championed, and we'll talk about that in a minute, where she would remove them from their position. But for her, it's like, nope, nothing to see here. We're looking at it ourselves. We have people in the field. How many times have you heard her say, in an abundance of caution? In an abundance of caution went out the door on October 25th, the day after she learned about this data breach. And I'm not the one using the term data breach. She is. It's a data breach. So let's talk about this law. After the Tina Peters thing in 2022, she champions a sweeping bill in the legislature that usurps local control of elections and really empowers her to do all of these massive things. It creates a duty for her. And one of those duties, it says, is that she oversees the conduct of the statewide elections, and she is responsible that elections are conducted in compliance with state law. Well, that same bill created a brand new law, the one I tweeted out that got all the activity, that makes it pretty clear. And I put the exact language up there. Any person who knowingly publishes or causes to be published passwords relating to a voting system shall immediately have their authorized access revoked and is guilty of a Class 5 felony. Class 5 felony is 1 to 3 years in the Department of Corrections. Not mandatory, but potential. That is epic, right? I mean, I don't know if this is karma or irony or some weird combination of the two, but the woman that championed this thing has just now violated it and wants to tell us, don't worry, I'm investigating myself. It's an accident. We've gotten rid of the employee. Nothing to see here. Everything's good to go. Really? I mean, buddy, I've never seen anything like this. Remember the indictment for Tina Peters? Here's some of the language from the indictment that they had. It's the stuff that comes with the charges. They talked about Tina Peters engaging in this publication of these passwords and saying it was a significant data breach. A significant data breach. Here's what it says. Passwords had been published on the internet. That public dissemination of this sensitive information constituted an unauthorized data breach. The compromised sensitive data included unique, basic input, basic output, confidential passwords. Does that sound familiar? I just don't know what we're doing here. And here's the problem. Democrats have gotten so far away from this in time, they can't act now because you called them out, because Kyle Clark called them out, because I'm calling them out. Now they can't look responsive to those things. So they're going to try to find a way to just let this horror end with Halloween and try to move on.
Talking to George Brauchler. We're just out of time. George, great analysis. By the way, follow him on X because he's doing this. Huge retweets, lots of impressions on this because people are interested in this story. And most importantly, they're interested in solid elections in the state of Colorado. So George Brauchler, last name spelled Brauchler. Follow him on X. George, thanks so much for the time today.
Yes, thanks you.
Fellas. Hey, happy Halloween, man.
Yes, happy Halloween.
We'll continue with the Jeff and Bill Show.
We are Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
RockyMountainBargains.com, where you'll always pay half price. Why pay retail when you can get what you want at 50% off? Just go to RockyMountainBargains.com and save. Here's this week's featured item.
A Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Serve coffee maker valued at $200. Get it now for half price.
Get it now at RockyMountainBargains.com for 50% off. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you always pay half price. Restrictions apply. Go to RockyMountainBargains.com for complete details.
know this guy.
Yes, you do, my friend. And this is for our bread man by request. Possibly the greatest guitar player ever.
Yes.
Possibly. There may be one or two that would.
How did he die?
it's
Drugs?
So hard. Yeah, of course. Yeah. The thing, though, is he's playing upside down. That's the part that's crazy. He's flipped it, so all his chords are backwards. That's nuts to think about. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, so talented. Gone way, way, way too early. So sad. But
well, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, got to do a little Voodoo Child. Yep. Got to do a little Voodoo Child on Halloween for Bread Man.
For the Bread Man.
Yep.
Just wrapped up great conversation with Lisa Frizell and George Brauchler on this Jenna Griswold debacle. I don't think she makes it to Election Day. George thinks she does. We'll see. But there's definitely criminal charges out there. Phil Weiser, where are you? Could you imagine if we had an AG that could actually...
Yeah. It's like Carmen San Diego. Where in the world is Phil Weiser?
We could have had Jorge.
Yes, we could have.
All right, coming up next, Natalie Menton's going to talk about Jeffco trying to de-Bruce. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Oh, this is Elvis. I know this.
Well, with an easy one. Yeah. Well, it didn't start on time, but yes. But this is, come on, Devil in Disguise. Got to do this. Love playing this on Halloween. It's so much fun. He's so good.
Well, it's 8 a.m.
Yes.
Welcome to a very special Halloween edition
Happy
of
Halloween.
the Jeff and Bill Show. I am dressed as MAGA Trash.
Your costume is next level. That is
I got
superb trolling.
For those that are not
So
viewing
good,
us
man.
online on YouTube, X, or Rumble, I'm wearing a trash bag thanks to Joe Biden calling all of us Trump supporters garbage.
Yeah.
By the way, great troll, Donald Trump yesterday driving a trash truck around.
Oh, so smart.
And then I'm wearing my giant Turd Ferguson Make America Great Again hat.
Yes.
And Billy.
That is the Halloween costume of the year.
Billy
That
is the bandit.
Yeah. I got what looks like a Lone Ranger mask given to me by an obscure ska band a number of years ago. So that's where this comes from. But it does. Looks like the Lone Ranger mask.
Oh, to go into Billy's mind on music would be such an adventure.
Oh, I know.
It'd be like Alice in Wonderland falling down.
It would be.
into
It would be. Oh, yeah. Here we go again. Sorry, the music just does it for me. Okay.
It does.
Yeah, it does. Oh,
it's like watching someone's brain get tickled.
Dude. There are times where I will be dancing while I'm making dinner if I have the music on. I got no shame. I'm sure the neighbors watch sometimes. Go, the hell's wrong with him? Yeah.
Well, this hour we're going to talk to Natalie Menton, who's a taxpayer advocate, about Jeffco 1A. This is an effort to debruce. Now, let me just help you with your ballot on this. If you vote to debruce, you deserve to get hit over the head with a tack hammer. Okay? This is like literally giving to the government more and more money that belongs in your pocket, right? This is tax dollars that by law should be refunded back to you. And you're like, you know who really spends money well? The government. So let's take the money that belongs to me and give it more to them. This has failed over and over in Jeffco. Counties that debruce just are not good. The people struggle. And when you hear about how they're withholding your tax refund, they're holding it hostage right now to see how you're going to vote on this ballot initiative. It's going to drive you crazy. So you're not going to want to miss this conversation with Natalie. But first, news and comment with Blake Olson. Good morning, Blake.
Hey guys, happy Halloween. 30 and sunny outside in Denver, expecting a high of 60 today. The 7-10 5-day forecast coming up. Our top story.
Garbage stuff blows it away. So I'm in this beautiful plane. I'm enjoying myself. Have a wonderful suit on. And one of my people came in and said, "Sir, you know, the word garbage is the hottest thing right now out there. The hottest thing out there. Sir, would you like to drive a garbage truck?"
And that's what he did. Can't get enough of DJT. More on that in a second. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold says she intends to help make sure the election is safe and secure. She's dealing with the fallout of leaked passwords to voting systems. She blames an employee who mistakenly posted them on a spreadsheet. The employee has been fired. Her office reportedly knew the partial passwords had been online 5 days before they were changed Tuesday. Griswold assures the equipment is secure. Colorado State Rep Lisa Frizell on with Jeff and Bill last hour.
I doubt that Jenna is going to actually resign because of something that the House minority wants. And I think that the Colorado citizens deserve, because we deserve to have faith in our elections. Jenna has demonstrated that she is not capable of running that portion of the office in a way that instills confidence in the citizens of the state.
And what does the great George Brauchler have to say about this mess?
There's not a single thing Jenna Griswold has done up to now that signals to voters that I care more about you than I care more about me, because she doesn't tell anybody, right? Like, she won't even change the passwords to these computers, because she knows if she signaled that to the clerks, they'd be like, what the hell? Why are we changing the passwords? And that would be an indication she'd done something wrong.
All right, absolutely. DJT rode the trash truck Wednesday. Photo op and sound bites of the day, wore the safety vest all day long, and at the rally in Wisconsin.
I made it. And then I gave a little news conference from the front of the, they asked their wise guy questions and everything. And then we drove about 2 feet. I got out, got into the plane. And then I got in the car and I'm driving over here and I have this still on. And I come into the arena and I say, where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing. And they said, it would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage. I said,
and he said it made him look thinner, so he may wear it again. I don't blame him. Kamala Khan lining up celebrities to endorse her today in Arizona. Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, is one of them. J-Lo, Eminem, Ben Stiller, they've been out there endorsing the Khan for the past couple of months. And at the same time, all three are in photos with Diddy. What's going on there? There's a lot of discussion going on there. Stay tuned. North Korea says this morning's launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile was intended as a message to its rivals. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff says the ICBM was fired from the Pyongyang area this morning and landed in the Sea of Japan. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un said the launch was a message to its rivals who have intentionally escalated regional tensions. McDonald's is facing another proposed class action lawsuit after a major E. coli outbreak. The new lawsuit filed Tuesday is now the third the fast food company faces after contaminated onions in its quarter pounders left 90 people sick and 1 dead here in Colorado. The real danger from Halloween isn't razor blades or tainted candy, but rather traffic and costumes. The FDA says kids are 3.5 times more likely to be killed by a car on Halloween than on an average day. Costumes should be visible and should also allow the person wearing one to see clearly. Be careful tonight if you are driving out there as the trick-or-treaters are running around the neighborhood. So use plenty of caution.
Walker Buehler is 1 out away from a championship, from a proper celebration. Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
They've done it! They finished the job and give Los Angeles the parade it's been waiting for!
Dodgers 7-6 World Series victory over the Yankees in Game 5 last night. 27 in Broomfield, 28 in Englewood, and 30 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson News Talk 710 KNUS.
Sunny to partly sunny skies, fair and dry on this Halloween. Nothing too frightening. Temperatures will be in the 50s, clear tonight, lows near 30. Highs will be 50s and lower 60s. Sunny, fair and dry Friday and Saturday. Clouding up Sunday, a little cooler. Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday, a chance of rain and snow showers with a cooling trend. Weather sponsored by Colorado's Best Roofing, reminding you to protect your home from the harsh Colorado weather and schedule your free, no-obligation roof inspection today at roofingcolorado.com. That's roofingcolorado.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Spooky music.
This Will Smith?
Yeah.
Is
I'm
that
bringing
Will
Blake Olson
Smith?
on this. I'm bringing up Blake Olson to the newsroom.
That's when
Yes.
Will Smith was great.
Yeah.
I know.
That was good stuff. That
Yep.
was really good stuff.
Yeah,
Man,
this
he
is-
was a great rapper.
Oh, he was
man.
fantastic. He was really, really good at it. His flow is fantastic. And this is, yeah, of course, Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh
DJ
Prince.
Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah. Don't know what happened to Jeff, but
Good stuff.
yeah, this is a
All right,
nightmare on
you
my
want-
street.
You
This
want
is
me-
a
I'm going to
takeoff of the-
confess something
Yeah.
that might make the news.
Ooh. You have my attention.
My favorite film series. Do you know what my favorite film series is?
Toy Story.
No.
No. Well, Old
Bad
Yeller.
Boys.
Oh my God!
I
no
love
way.
the Martin Lawrence Will
That's
Smith
funny.
interaction. So,
Oh my God, that's funny. That is fantastic. They are really good together.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
really, really good. This is so good because this is about Freddy Krueger.
Hey,
Is
hey,
it?
Billy.
Yeah, that's what this is. Yes, sir.
Hey, are you watching on live stream?
No,
when I
not
hear
at all.
when I hear this, I start thinking all that I picture is the head going around.
Oh
Will
yeah,
Smith
yes.
going,
Yep, exactly. His wiggle head. Yes.
wiggle ahead.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, I digress.
It was so
I'm sorry.
good. Yeah, this is. He was good. He was so clean, but again, it's
He was.
Yeah,
It was
so
just good stuff,
yeah,
man.
I know. We're so old. All right,
Martin
back to,
Lawrence
yep.
is underrated too. I
Oh,
think.
completely, my
Yeah.
friend.
I
Yep.
agree.
all right.
All
So
right, here we
there's in Bad Boys, there's this great issue that moves between the second and third and fourth movies.
Okay.
Which
What?
is the son Reggie,
Okay.
who shows up to date Martin Lawrence's daughter.
Oh, that's funny.
And so in the second movie, he shows up to date, and they just put a ton of pressure
Yeah.
on him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
mess with my daughter, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then in the third movie, they're having a baby, and he's back in the movie. And then in the fourth movie,
Yeah.
Reggie is a Marine that has to
Oh.
defend the family against a bunch of bad guys.
Oh
And
my
it's an
goodness.
amazing little
Oh, wow.
subplot throughout the Bad Boys movies. I
Oh, that's
absolutely
kind of
love
cool.
it.
That's
Reggie
really cool.
That is cool. Patriotism.
All right. Thank you, Blake. I appreciate that. That's just so
Thank
good.
you.
I'd sit here and I'd play music all morning.
I know,
We'll talk to you in a bit, my friend. Thank
People
you.
are like, wait, what?
Sorry, I
What
forgot
is
this is
this?
the show.
Yeah.
What radio station am I listening to?
I know.
All right. So
Yeah.
now I'm gonna get serious with my Turd Ferguson hat on and my garbage bag that I'm wearing. Because I'm MAGA trash today. Look, there's a ballot initiative in Jeffco that guys, seriously, this thing should fail 100%. I don't get the idea. They're always going to run out there and go, the schools need more money. The government needs more money. If we don't have money, police are not going to do their job, and your house is going to burn down, and nobody's going to come put it out for you. It's not true. It's a scare tactic to get you to give up your Tabor refund. It's called debrucing, okay? This is from Channel 4. For the third time in 5 years, Jefferson County is asking voters to permanently remove caps that limit how much tax revenue the Colorado County can keep and spend, including a new cap just put in place by the state legislature 2 months ago. We would be the first in Colorado to have no cap. And they're trying to say it's not a tax increase, says Natalie Menton, who's leading the No on 1A effort. Well, Jeffco says 1A is a revenue retention measure. I hate politicians. Revenue retention, which is I get to keep all your money. To fund infrastructure and public safety, Menton says not only would taxpayers forfeit all future refunds from the county, but $30.5 million in property tax revenue from 2020 through 23 that Jeffco deliberately overcollected. They took our money. They're holding it, earning interest on it, knowing people are hurting, and they want to continue that. The county knew last year's property tax revenue would come in over the state cap of 5.5%. Under state law, it should have lowered its mill levy to account for it. Okay, so a whole bunch of money comes in as the result of this property tax increase that's taking place. So what should have happened under state law was they take the mill levy and they dial it back. But they didn't. Menton has filed an open records request and discovered that the Colorado Department of Local Affairs repeatedly warned the county to lower its mill levy, even sending it a notice of non-compliance. Jeffco responded that, unlike other counties, it overcollects property taxes and then issues refund checks. So they have the money. They're supposed to refund it to you, but they're not. It told the state the checks would likely be mailed out in August or September, but county commissioners decided instead to send them out after the election. They are literally holding their money hostage. The state, the Department of Local Affairs, is warning them, but they're like, meh, we'll get to it after the election. By the way, we'd like to keep this permanently. But county commissioners decide instead to send them out after the election. If 1A passes, they keep the money along with all future refunds. They want to see if they can keep the dollars they currently have that they owe you. This should be so nonpartisan.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they're looking at not just stuff now, but we want the stuff in the future. We want this in perpetuity. And the issue being that, and this is a problem that I have in these type of situations, because the tax increase that they're looking for in Jefferson County right now is not pursuant to issues that you see now or in the next couple of years. They're looking at this in perpetuity. They're just saying, we see a pile of money that we think we're entitled to. And we need to keep it. And the interesting part about this is, and this is something that I think voters should pay attention to, that Jeff just outlined when you're looking at 1A, is that those in charge had the ability to lower your tax rate. Okay. Now, I know that sounds like political speak, but let's talk about why that's important to you, our listeners. And we appreciate you here this morning in the Jeff and Bill Show on 710 KNUS, because that means you could have had more money in your budget this year. You could have had more money to feed your family. You could have had more money for those birthday parties. You could have had more money to buy Halloween candy tonight. You could have had more money in your pocket to do Christmas shopping that's coming up here soon. Could have had more money that might have helped out with the kids' dental bills. Could have had more money that might have helped you squeeze that car payment that you really, really need. You could have had more money that you didn't have to put that car repair on the credit card. You could have had more money that actually you and the family might have been able to do a little bit more on that vacation. This isn't about making you rich, but it's about making sure that your budget had more wiggle room in it. In a time in which our politicians on both sides have been talking about how difficult it has been for all of us to meet our budgetary requirements, how everything's getting more expensive. At the time in which things were getting more expensive for you, our listeners, those in charge in Jeffco decided the one thing that you shouldn't get is more of your money back, even though the state was directing them to do exactly that. They decided they were going to keep the largesse and then bet on the fact that you're dumb enough to let them keep it based on the ballot. And I'm using that intentionally. Yes, they believe that you are ignorant and stupid enough to just say, hey, keep more of my money forever. The last thing that we want as taxpayers is to get back money that our government doesn't spend. Why would we want that? That seems silly. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They think you're stupid, because if they thought you were smart enough, they would have given you the money back earlier this year, because they would have known that you could do something better with it. They would have known that you need it. They would have known that your family would have been safer and more secure. They didn't. They decided to keep it. They decided to hang on to it for themselves and then bet on the fact that you're dumb enough to let them keep it after the election. They are betting on you being stupid. Remember that when you're filling out your ballot.
Billy, I want to stand up and applaud. That was wonderful. And what was great about that, you did it with the little bandit mask on.
I know.
So you're like Robin Hood, man. You're like, we're going to steal back from the government and give to the people.
It's ridiculous.
Robbing the rich, giving to the poor.
It's damn stupid.
I mean, this debrucing is terrible. This has failed 3 times in the last 5 years. But here's the other side of this.
Yeah.
The county commissioners want so desperately for this to pass so they can have their money. They decided to hire a consulting firm.
Oh, do tell who they hired. I'm sure this is going to be a lot of fun.
Seriously, run these people out of town. Why Jefferson County puts up with this? And they used to have good commissioners. Don Rozier was a good commissioner.
Yeah.
But, and I'm forgetting some of the other commissioners. They had some good commissioners, Republican commissioners there. They hired Brittany Pedersen's husband
Of course.
to a tune of $300,000. This is Ian Silveri, used to run Progress Now Colorado. Total progressive, right? He is he's a progressive campaign strategist, as liberal as they get. I even had to call the police on him one time.
Hey, all right. I bet that's a story.
They paid $300,000 to Brittany Pedersen's husband, who is a progressive activist, to get this to pass. The amount of corruption. This is like when imagine I'm the governor.
Yeah.
And they go out and hire my wife to the tune of $300,000.
Yeah.
You don't think that would be all over the news?
Absolutely.
Of course it would be all over the news. Channel 4's reported on it, but nobody else has.
This is ridiculous. And this is the thing, I got a little upset here a minute ago about the fact that they're looking at you and thinking you're stupid. Here it is. Here's your proof.
And I do look a little stupid.
I know exactly what Jeff said right there. This is how obtuse they believe you are if you live in Jefferson County. They believe that you are so obtuse and so ignorant that they can take your tax money, the tax money they didn't want to give you back, the tax money the state was telling them they should give you back, to just lower your property tax rate to put a little more money in your pocket right away. They instead decided, no, we are going to take that money and keep it. Not only that, we're going to go out and spend $300K on a consultant to do what? Yes. What was that consultant hired to do? That consultant was hired to create messaging to separate you from more of your money. So let's just review here, class, okay? The top of the board. First of all, in Jefferson County, county commissioners decided the one thing when they're collecting too much money and they were told you're collecting too much property tax money, the one thing they first decided to do is to keep more of your money. They didn't want to give it back to you. They didn't want to make it easier for you and your family to make sure you can put bread on the table. No, that wasn't it. It was about what they had to do and they wanted to keep the money. Then they decided to take your money they don't want to give back to you and go and put it into a $300,000 consulting contract. And that consultant is tasked with convincing you to allow them to keep more of your money. They're trying to screw you, and they're asking you to vote for it. Again, make whatever decision you want. You can go out in the front of your yard and hit yourself in the face with a shovel all day. Just don't complain when it hurts. That's it.
Brilliant, Bill. Absolutely brilliant. And again, doing it with the bandit mask on.
So much fun.
People are texting, wanting our YouTube link so they can watch.
It's so much fun. We're all dressed up. It's great today.
Like I said at the very beginning, if you vote for 1A, you deserve to get hit over the head with a tack hammer. I'm sorry.
Exactly. You're right.
It is just stop giving these people your money. You know who is a good place to put your money if you need them?
Yeah, where? Do tell.
That's Advanced Hair Restoration.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're losing your hair, you need a simple solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology with top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need Dr. Tanya Pauls and her team at Advanced Hair. They've completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to their unmatched results. If you got a receding hairline, bald spot, or thinning hair, address them all with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment. I might just go there to enjoy the calm and relaxed environment.
Yeah, I need that too.
Most experienced professionals, Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of these breakthrough treatments. And get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one in Denver can offer anything like the advanced FUE found in Advanced Hair, and I highly recommend their team. It starts with your free consultation. Call 720-459-HAIR. If you qualify, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that's redefined hair restoration. 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com. I've had family members get their hair done, and it just changed their lives. They looked youthful. They had to go back into the dating scene in their 30s and 40s, and it just worked out really well for them. And look, next year's Halloween party, you could look totally different. So check out Advanced Hair Restoration. Doing great work over there. All right. Give us a call or a text message on how you feel about these debrucing efforts. And it's not just Jefferson County. There are local government tax measures all over the ballot Denver and many other Colorado municipalities have affordable housing tax questions because, yes, the government will make your house more affordable. Again, if you believe that, we need to take you back to school because everything the government spends money on gets more expensive. Denver Health is asking for a sales tax increase. RTD wants voters to let it keep all of its sales tax revenue in coming years. And several fire departments and schools have also referred tax measures on the ballot. They got enough money in every single one of those cases, I guarantee you. Give us a call, 303-696-1971. That's 303-696-1971. Or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115, 720-819-5115. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
At this hour, I'm Christina Owayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories.
The judge has handed a victory to the Trump campaign, who filed an emergency lawsuit after election officials in Bucks, Pennsylvania, started telling long lines of people who showed up to vote, likely Republicans, to go home. They also were caught cutting off voting access hours before voting was scheduled to end. According to the RNC chairman, Michael Whatley, the judge ordered, quote, extended early in-person voting through November 1st. 3 extra days, to accommodate voters who were disenfranchised. The judge also found that Bucks County violated election code. The decision comes shortly after the U.S. Supreme Court handed Governor Glenn Youngkin a victory, ruling that Virginia can purge 1,600 non-citizens from the voter rolls. Youngkin filed the appeal with SCOTUS after a lower court ruled to reinstate the non-citizens to the voter rolls. Authorities say a funeral home owner in South Georgia has been arrested and accused of neglecting human corpses after 18 bodies were found at the location in various stages of decomposition. Sheriff's deputies said they made the discovery last weekend while serving an eviction notice at the business. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, 39-year-old Chris Lee Johnson of Douglas has been charged with 17 counts of abuse of a dead body. An attorney is not listed for Johnson in online court filings, and a judge said this week that Johnson would remain in jail pending prosecution.
That's what you need to know at this hour. In Dallas, Christina Owayo, Salem News Channel.
RockyMountainBargains.com, where you'll always pay half price. Why pay retail when you can get what you want at 50% off? Just go to RockyMountainBargains.com and save. Here's this week's featured item.
A Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Serve Coffee Maker valued at $200. Get it now for half price.
Get it now at RockyMountainBargains.com for 50% off. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you always pay half price. Restrictions apply. Go to RockyMountainBargains.com for complete details.
I know these guys.
Yeah, the Eagles.
The Eagles.
Yes.
Witchy Woman. That
nicely
Seinfeld episode is one of my favorites.
Oh, it is. It's fantastic. They're so talented. It's just something about
Did you
this
hear
group.
they're at the Sphere right now?
Yeah, that would be so much fun. I got to get there to see a show. I'd like to. But the thing for me is the visual overwhelming. Because I've been to a few of those shows where the visual is almost overwhelming at time. One of those, Tool up at Red Rocks. That was insane visually. There are some things like that is like almost, does the music become a secondary? That's what I'm worried about the Sphere. That's why I haven't made that trip yet. Because I'm worried the music becomes secondary in that location. Yeah.
Bill, you got to take risks, man.
Oh, I know about those. I'm behind this microphone every morning.
Let's go to the phone lines. Jay, Denver. Yeah, your entire life is a risk, by the way.
It is.
Good morning, Jay. You're on the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Hey, good morning. Great information about Jeffco. That's just real scary what they're doing.
Oh, it really is. And it's all based on the fact that they're assuming the voters are stupid. That's the thing that pisses me off the most, is because what they're doing is like, they're not paying attention. They don't know enough about it. They're not engaged enough. The people they're representing, they're assuming their constituents, the people that put them in office, are not intelligent or engaged enough to understand the scam they're trying to pull. That's just insulting.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Cherry Creek Schools, which we know a lot about in our company, since 1991, is about to try to pass a bill for $950 million, almost $1 billion, to knock down Cherry Creek High School, Greenwood, and Campus Middle School, and all the ball fields, including Sutler Bowl, which we've all seen a lot of football played there, championship football. And it is 85 acres of this huge property. And that's what they're trying to pass on this current election.
Wow. $950 million?
I will follow up with you as much as you want on this. We rebuilt so many schools, including that campus, in the late 90s and 80s, turned them into the most high-tech technology schools in the country.
Dude, I'm a graduate of Creek. I remember.
Okay. You're so young. I listen to the things you say. You're such a young guy.
Class of 2000, baby.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Jake, this is the thing. This is the thing with hanging with Jeff every morning. This thing is, I'm sitting there going, you and your, fast metabolism and your tight skin and all your hair. I'm like, jeez, kind of jealous, man.
I love it. So not only the technology, but at that point we found was very little asbestos in those buildings, and it was abated. So don't fall for that, public. It's not there, and asbestos can be abated. Those structures are strong. Secondly, you don't need more room because attendance is down. Third, the other issue with all schools is there's always a second floor. Unless the school was built before the 50s, schools started being built with huge amounts of space above them, which we know. I don't know how many hundreds of people doing this work. And you can always do a second floor, especially at Cherry Creek and a lot of the other schools. And almost $1 billion. Can you imagine? And they're very nice schools. And you went there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll be honest. I went to a lot of other worse schools after that, grad school, college, that weren't nearly as nice as what Creek had. So it definitely does not come to mind right away that we need to improve the facilities at Cherry Creek High School. It's a bunch of rich kids, man. They've had that pretty nice for a long time.
Yeah, the cars in the parking lot are tell all. Other than that, Kent Country Day School is the only other one where there were very nice cars in the parking lot, which made me sad that anyone would drive those nice cars. Such nice cars, excuse me. But let me tell you one other thing, and I'll follow back up to the after election. This is a very, very high quality district, highly taxed district, as you all know. And there is no reason in God's green earth that you need to do that type of destruction. I'm going to use those terms to very strong brick structure, concrete facilities. We have to stop doing that, just like people will knock anything down just because they want a different looking building, a different facade. Well, you could do facades, but my goodness, $1 billion, 85 acres.
Yeah, and the thing for me is that you look at, there are some other schools, I would say, that I would rank higher. If you were looking at improvements inside the district, I think there are some other schools that could use more improvement. But one of the things that's you bring up a good point, Jay, is that they're focusing on what's going on there with Creek. And what I'm hearing, the biggest issue are certain schools that, yes, enrollment is down, and they're looking at having to abandon or knock down some schools, and just they don't know what to do with the facility and what to do with the property. And it rubs me a little bit wrong for them to look at, hey, we want to improve the facilities at this school when they're still looking at knocking down, and they don't know what to do with the ones that are going empty. I know the DPS and APS have a real big problem with enrollment and what they're going to do with what these buildings are as far as they're emptying. And for my money, if the school area is emptying, then maybe what you do is you tear it down or you just sell it off, and that's how you raise the money to do the improvements that you're looking for.
I will
because
say
that's what everybody else would
this.
have to
I'll
do.
say this. Having a district pay for its own school renovations is much better than the state paying for it, right?
That is true. That
And
is true.
me
Much
out in Elbert County having to pay for rich kids in Cherry Creek to go to a nice school, that ain't right. But if the people of Cherry Creek are like, hey, you know what, we need to spend money on $1 billion renovation for the Stutler Bowl, then
tear it all down.
I don't
So
know.
they're going to tear it all down. When we first received the plans for Grandview Elementary, which is on East Arapahoe, and there's Cherokee Trail.
Nice school too.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nice school. Let me tell you what, they're bigger than University of Colorado Springs on top of the hill. We built that one too. Those high schools are bigger than UCCS in Colorado Springs. If you go to Grandview, you looked at it on a print. I saw those prints on our drafting table, and I asked one of my guys. I said, "Well, that's a nice college we're working on." He goes, "Nope, that's a high school."
Yeah.
And I said, "You're kidding me." And again, they have a lot of kids going to school out there. That's not the issue. The issue is economizing on what we're dealing with, and it's just horrific. But I just wanted to call back in, and I'll call you back in and get whatever.
Yeah, keep us
appreciate it,
updated,
man.
Jay. I appreciate
Have a
that.
great day.
Have
Happy
you
Halloween,
seen
man.
some of those videos of those high school rallies in Texas?
Oh yeah, yeah. Where their football stadiums are just ridiculous now. Yeah, like Prairie View is a great example of a school that just was bursting at the seams. You have to redesign the boundaries inside of Cherry Creek because it grew so quickly out near Southlands. In part because of housing costs, it was more affordable to go live down there. Now, on the one thing as far as the rehabilitation thing, I'm all for rehabilitating Stutler Bowl. I hate Stutler Bowl. I hate Stutler Bowl with a passion. It sucks. And again, okay, this is a personal thing because in high school we played Cherry Creek under the lights a couple of times in Stutler Bowl. Stupid stadium. And here's the reason why. Never do you really want to play a soccer match in a football stadium because the field is slanted. The way that
the field slanted.
Yep. The way that they make
track there a bunch.
Yeah. Oh no, here's the idea. But everyone thinks tilting like left or right. No. The issue is there's a peak in the middle of the field and then it slants down towards the sidelines, and that's done for water drainage. Also explains, that's why you want to keep your quarterback in the middle because he's a little bit taller and he can see out to the sides. But if someone's kicking a ball 40 yards and it lands, it goes left or right off the stupid concrete underneath it. It is the most inaccurate, stupid stadium to play soccer in.
So
I'll light that one on fire.
I may know this not from my own personal experience, but from watching.
Yeah.
That the best way to streak the Stutler Bowl is from north to south and have a car waiting on the south end.
Very smart.
To drive away.
Very, very, very smart. Because that you do have the escape. You do have the escape on the south end. That is true. Because you're tied up at the north. You got it. There's like a weaving to get out of the parking lot.
You gotta like run up and hype over.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
You may or may not have watched a friend or two do.
Well, that's good. The bus barn is on the other side, so that's easy because that's where. Yeah,
and then you can just peel off into. I think it's
so smart.
I forget what road's there,
so
but
smart,
Yosemite's there.
Yeah.
Just peel off into Yosemite. And gone.
And go back to your thing on Texas. They have those huge football stadiums and everything there and the high schools. They spend so much money, but again,
Thank God for oil and gas revenue.
Yeah, exactly. It's taxes and things like that, and they support it that way. So more power to them.
Jeff, how do you think they got to be rich kids? Because their families moved there.
Yeah.
They tax Cherry Hills.
There we go.
You do it.
That is part of it. That is part of it.
That's how it happened. Hey, it's Jeff from the Jeff and Bill Show from my friends over at Mountain High Appliance. They've cooked up some sizzling deals for your kitchen now for a limited time. Receive up to a $1,500 mail-in rebate with the purchase of qualifying Bosch appliances. Enjoy the Mountain High Appliance price match guarantee and special financing options. Visit one of their 4 locations for all the details and upgrade your kitchen with Bosch Appliances in Denver at East 64th, Littleton, Louisville, and Glenwood Springs. Mountain High Appliance, experience the difference. Guys, look, we are just a few weeks away from Thanksgiving. You got Christmas, you got family coming in, kids coming back from college. You could have those brand new appliances. Make that time together as a family really, really special. So check out our friends over at Mountain High Appliance. Great company there. So coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, Robyn Carnes is going to join us. She's a candidate for Colorado Senate District 16. And this is a big one because this would be a flip from a D to an R, and she's given it a good run. So what can Republicans expect in the state Senate coming up? We're going to be talking to Robyn Carnes about that in the 9 o'clock hour. But give us a call about some of these tax initiatives. If you're supportive of them, I'd love to hear why. I am pretty much a no against all of them. There's plenty of money out there. And to continue to take it from the hardworking people of Colorado for particularly special projects, not a fan, but at least it's better than statewide taxing where, I've got to pay for the rich kids in Cherry Creek School District. So, but give me a call if you support this bond initiative for $950 million to rebuild Cherry Creek schools, or Jeffco 1A in an effort to keep all future Tabor refunds with the county instead of going back to the people of the county. If you can make a compelling argument, I'd be happy to hear it. 303-696-1971 or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS. Jeff.
RockyMountainBargains.com, where you'll always pay half price. Why pay retail when you can get what you want at 50% off? Just go to RockyMountainBargains.com and save. Here's this week's featured item.
A Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Serve coffee maker valued at $200. Get it now for half price.
Get it now at RockyMountainBargains.com for 50% off. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you always pay half price. Restrictions apply. Go to RockyMountainBargains.com for complete details. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you'll always pay half price. Why pay retail when you can get what you want at 50% off? Just go to RockyMountainBargains.com and save. Here's this week's featured item.
A Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Serve coffee maker valued at $200. Get it now for half price.
Get it now at RockyMountainBargains.com for 50% off. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you always pay half price. Restrictions apply. Go to RockyMountainBargains.com for complete details.
Jeff Hildebrand doesn't know what to do with us. Good morning.
He's just giggling. He's looking. He's just shaking his head, going, "And I work with these people.
I know.
What is going on? What has happened to my career? I used to be a respected man who worked with the Western Channel. I had this great career, and now I'm.
How about this cowboy hat?
Sitting with
this
guys.
is going to keep the dust out of the sun.
Yeah,
right.
Look at that.
He's just shaking his head.
Jeff is the best.
So I'm dressed as MAGA trash today because of Joe Biden calling Trump supporters garbage. And then I've got a giant Turd Ferguson style "Make America Great Again" cowboy hat.
That hat is the best. That is just one of the best things in the world. That is fantastic. It's not one of the big oversized baseball caps, which in my mind is cute but looks silly. There's character to that oversized cowboy hat. There's piles and piles of character.
Make America Great Again.
Yeah, Jeff says his character underneath the hat too.
And Billy the Bandit.
Yeah,
having a ton of fun.
This is fun. I got my Lone Ranger mask on today. That's what I'm using it as.
We've been having a great conversation about tax increases coming up, what people are wearing. Feel free to give us a call, 303-696-1971. Robyn Carnes is going to join us in the 9 o'clock hour. And then, buddy, we're going to get into the details of Alfred Packer.
I can't believe it.
This Halloween, who, upon being convicted, listen to this. The judge, this is what the judge says. And you have to remember, there's a lot of tension. This is why it's so relevant. There's a lot of tension between Republicans and Democrats back then. And he was arrested in Lake County, which was primarily a Democrat county, or Hinsdale County, which is a Democrat county. So upon being convicted of murdering 5 people and then consuming them,
nom, nom, nom.
This is what the judge says. Stand up, you voracious man-eating son of a gun, and receive your sentence. When you came to Hinsdale County, there were 7 Democrats, but ate 5 of them. God darn you.
Ate 5 of them.
I sent it, and this is all written out in Western language. I sentence you to be hanged by the neck until you're dead, 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 as a warning against reducing the Democrat population of this county. Packer, you Republican cannibal, I would sentence you to hell, but the statutes forbid it.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Oh, boy. Do the dance, William. Gabe wants to see the dance.
Which one? The purple people? No. We got to wait for the time warp for that one. We can do the dance.
The time warp?
Yes. Time. What?
What is the time warp?
Oh, no. Really? Oh, okay. Hang on. We'll do it. Hang on here. Let me go into the library. Where is the time warp?
Packer, you Republican cannibal. That's one way Republicans can maybe get back into control in this state.
That is true. That is true. It might be. I've got some music that
Follow
will do with that
me
later
up to
too.
Breckenridge, ye Democrats, through snow as we trudge. And I'll hit you on the head with a hatchet. Consume you.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get this thing going here. Here it comes. Oh, yeah. Everybody get ready. We'll close out the hour of this one. Yes, astounding. This takes oh, so good. You don't know this?
Never heard of it.
Oh, no. Control. You got to dance soon.
We just become a Halloween request line.
Here we go.
Billy is dancing in studio right now. You got to tune in to YouTube X or Rumble. Oh, Billy, you're a ball of fun on Halloween. Great day.
The worst thing in the world is that in the video, there's going to be no music. And I'm just going to be an idiot dancing to Dawn.
Oh, we're going to clip that. We'll have some fun with that.
Oh, my God. That is great. I haven't done that in so long.
All right. Did you know that last year, over 49% of homes listed did not sell with the real estate agent who took the initial listing? That's because they weren't good at real estate agents. This cost home sellers thousands of dollars in lower offers and painful holding costs. Gay Ribble and the Empower Home team of Keller Williams have a track record of selling homes fast and get their home sellers 6.1% more money on average, netting their sellers $30,500 more in their pocket. Look, this is like I saw in the Wall Street Journal, the 2 worst consecutive years of home sales since 1995. It's brutal out there right now. So you can't go with somebody that's untrusted, untested, just because they're your friends or your family members or you saw them on a billboard. You got to go with a team that doesn't just make empty promises, but can actually provide proof of their experience and track record of getting homes sold for top dollar. Gay Ribble and the Empower Home team is so confident in their service they provide and the results they get you that if you're not happy, you can cancel at any time, no cost to you. This is their cancellation promise. Call 833-301-SOLD. That's 833-301-SOLD or visit gayhasthebuyers.com. That's GAYE hasthebuyers.com. All right, coming up in the 9 o'clock hour.
You ever did Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Never seen it.
No.
I went to a Marilyn Manson and Guar show once, and that scared me to my soul.
Manson's great. Guar's a little weird. Guar's a little weird, but
dude, I wasn't even really a Christian at that time, and I was like, Lord, I asked for your forgiveness.
Dude, that's it. Rocky Horror Picture Show is a classic campy movie. Tim Curry stars in it.
What's
Dr. Frankenfurter.
What's the premise of the movie?
It's a little weird. Basically, a couple gets lost and runs into a Halloween castle with all the weird people inside, and they step through the looking glass. Kind of that's the idea. But it is participatory movie theater. They used to run it at midnights here in like the Mayan.
Yeah.
And you'd come down there and then everybody would come and you'd
just
all dance up and
remember
stand.
Mike Pence. There's a lot of Mike Pence in me. So,
We'll
All
be right back.
You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS.
RockyMountainBargains.com, where you'll always pay half price. Why pay retail when you can get what you want at 50% off? Just go to RockyMountainBargains.com and save. Here's this week's featured item.
A Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Serve coffee maker valued at $200. Get it now for half price.
Get it now at RockyMountainBargains.com for 50% off. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you always pay half price. Restrictions apply. Go to RockyMountainBargains.com for complete details.
It's not controversial. It's delicious. Oh, more 80s music. I don't know. Great. Oh, I know this one. This is the Monsters Mash.
Yes, it is. I think it's low, though. Let's bring that up. There we go. The only Halloween song that ever hit #1 on the charts. This is the only one.
Really?
Yeah, this is it. Yep. I don't have a dance for this one. Can you imagine them putting this together? I got this idea. We're going to do this kind of a Dracula voice.
Yeah,
and
like who finally put that all together?
Exactly. It's just
and they did it like in a random day in like March
yeah,
too.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah. That's like most Christmas songs are written in June.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, whatever.
You know what's going to happen tomorrow in the Hunt House?
What?
November 1st.
Yeah, what happens?
We will be decorated for Christmas.
Is it? Are you that family?
I'm not.
Are you? No, yeah, I like that. I'm not. Mrs. Jeff. Really, that's tomorrow.
It is quite interesting. Yeah, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
you put up with it.
Oh yeah, you do. And now in our household, it's normally Black Friday is the day that we transition over. It's right after Thanksgiving, so that's the day that we pull everything out.
That's more
to do all of it.
appropriate.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. That's tomorrow. You know what tomorrow is for the Thorpe household? It's half price candy day. Because they're selling all the candy.
It's also All Saints Day,
yes.
right?
Yep.
And Reformation Day and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So yeah,
when we helped guide the Catholic Church back to,
yeah, but yeah, do a little bit of time in church. But again, the Halloween candy is half off. So yeah, I might be actually swinging by the store on the way home today because they may already be discounting it. And I've got a couple of things to buy, so I want to check that. Yeah, because have you seen what they're charging for the candy? Dude.
What they're charging for candy,
dude?
Is it Kamala Harris prices?
It's ridiculous. It's so expensive. You have to really you have to bargain shop on this one. I would highly recommend. Also, if you're out there,
Kamala.
If you haven't done the candy shopping yet, always make sure do the price per ounce. That's where you're gonna find the best deals. It might require a little bit of math, but that's where you're gonna find out. Yeah.
Well, coming up here in just a second, Robyn Carnes is going to join us. She's a candidate for Colorado Senate District 16, wrapping up the campaign. This would be a flip for the Republicans, a little bit more control in the Senate. Would be great for our state. We'll be talking to Robyn in just a second, but first, news and comment with Blake Olson. Good morning, Blake.
Hey, good morning, Jeff and Billy. 34 and sunny in Denver, expecting a high of 60 today. The 7-10 5-day forecast coming up. Our top story.
There's not a single thing Jenna Griswold has done up to now that signals to voters that I care more about you than I care more about me, because she doesn't tell anybody, right? Like, she won't even change the passwords to these computers, because she knows if she signaled that to the clerks, they'd be like, what the hell? Why are we changing the passwords? And that would be an indication she'd done something wrong.
George Brauchler on with the fellas this morning. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold says she intends to help make sure the election is safe and secure. She's dealing with the fallout of leaked passwords to voting systems. She blames an employee who mistakenly posted them on a spreadsheet. The employee has been fired. See you later. Her office reportedly knew the partial passwords had been online 5 days before they were changed Tuesday. Colorado State Rep Lisa Frizell.
I doubt that Jenna is going to actually resign because of something that the House minority wants, and I think that the Colorado citizens deserve, because we deserve to have faith in our elections. Jenna has demonstrated that she is not capable of running that portion of the office in a way that instills confidence in the citizens of the state.
Frizell was also on with the fellas this morning. New details about the suspect in the ballot box fires in Portland are being released. The Portland Police Bureau announced Wednesday the suspect is believed to be between 30 and 40 years old with short or balding hair and was seen pulling up to one of the ballot boxes in a Volvo. They added that it's very possible he'll strike again at other locations.
And I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, it actually makes you look thinner. I said,
DJT talking about the safety vest he wore all day riding the trash truck and at the rally in Wisconsin. Those steps on big trucks can sometimes be a challenge. Listener Barney, he knows all about that. And DJT knew if he didn't get up to the cab, he'd hear about it from the lefty media.
Most of them, many of them were there. And I'm saying, oh, boy, one little mistake with these guys and your political career's over. You can't even. So I said, man, if I don't get up there, this is going to be very embarrassing. These stupid people, they'll say, he's cognitively and physically impaired. So I had the adrenaline going and I made it.
All right, he'll be in the Southwest today, in New Mexico, also Arizona, as will Kamala Khan. Opening statements begin tomorrow in the trial of the man accused in a New York City subway chokehold death. Marine veteran Daniel Penny is charged with manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide in the death of Jordan Neely, who witnesses say was threatening and harassing people. A Florida man is being charged with assault for allegedly beating a sleeping passenger bloody on a flight from San Francisco to D.C. on Monday. A federal complaint says that Everett Chad Nelson was coming back from the bathroom on a United flight when, without apparent reason, started attacking a sleeping man, splitting his nose open and leaving the cabin bloody. Nelson faces up to a year in prison.
Walker Buehler is 1 out away from a championship, from a proper celebration. Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
They've done it! They finished the job and give Los Angeles the parade it's been waiting for.
This year's World Series MVP, Freddie Freeman, he led the Dodgers to their 8th title while breaking a record by hitting a home run in each of the first 4 games of the World Series. They beat the Yankees last night 7-6. Freeman also had 12 RBI to tie a World Series record. 29 in Louisville, 32 in Greenwood Village, 34 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. It's Halloween.
Sunny to partly sunny skies, fair and dry on this Halloween. Nothing too frightening. Temperatures will be in the 50s. Clear tonight, lows near 30. Highs will be 50s and lower 60s. Sunny, fair and dry Friday and Saturday. Clouding up Sunday, a little cooler. Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday, a chance of rain and snow showers with a cooling trend. Weather sponsored by Colorado's Best Roofing, reminding you to protect your home from the harsh Colorado weather and schedule your free, no-obligation roof inspection today at roofingcolorado.com. That's roofingcolorado.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
More 80s music I've never heard. Welcome to the Jeff and Bill Show.
We're going punk here. We're going deep into my soul. We're going punk with this one. This is the Ramones. Yes.
What's the Halloween connection?
It's coming. It's coming. Here comes the hook.
I wonder if Robyn knows this.
Pet Cemetery, the Ramones. Pet Cemetery, definitely Halloween. Yes. This makes the little tiny punk inside of me so happy. He is mosh
Little
pitting
punky
inside
Bill.
of me. Oh yes, this is fantastic. This scratches an itch that I don't get to scratch very often. This is so good.
All right,
Ramones
well,
are the
we'll
best.
see if Robyn, I think, was an 80s child. Joining us is Robyn Carnes. She's running for Senate District 16, which is like Centennial, so South Metro Denver. Robyn, thanks so much for being on the Jeff and Bill Show.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
You bet. Happy Halloween. In fact, I kind of thought you might be playing Rock and Robyn because, my plan is to rock the vote.
There you go.
That's what I was hoping you'd play, but I'm like an 80s, 90s child, but I like that too. So happy Halloween. I made my kids ghost pancakes this morning just in honor of the boo,
Okay,
so.
now you got to share with our listeners, how do you make ghost pancakes? What do you do?
Well, I tell you what, you just need a really good griddle, and mine kind of turn out like ghosts anyway, because it's real hard to get the perfectly round jack-o'-lantern, shaped pancake, but you just got to make them a little, kind of like a light bulb with a little tail. I posted on social media. You can see they just have to be kind of an amoeba, like that sort of thing, and put little eyes with chocolate chips or something to make the kids smile. My boys are teenagers, and so they're kind of like Mom, but you put pancakes in front of them and they're happy.
Yeah, they are. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm creating an image right now. And we're going to get to Robyn in a second on her race. But I'm going to post this image of Jenna Griswold and Tina Peters as cellmates together.
Oh boy.
Now, Robyn, I'm going to ask you about this. Should Jenna Griswold resign?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. And here's why. With everything that's gone on, we owe it to the people of Colorado to have good, we need voter confidence. And anything that is, in impacting that's a red flag. So maybe resigning is a bit extreme, especially right now in light of, like, we're 4 days from election, right? But there's got to be a shift because there's been a lot of mess ups that will hinder voter confidence, and that's what we're really trying to push. Is we've got to be more transparent in this space, not less. I think we owe it to Coloradans to have that voter confidence, and so we need to do everything to inspire that.
I agree with you. Now, Robyn, you're running in Senate District 16. This is the Centennial area. You've served on city council, I believe, right? So this is now a step to a different office. This would be a pickup for Republicans in the Senate. It's currently the current incumbent is Chris Kolker, I believe, right? And that is who you are challenging here?
Yep, exactly. And I currently sit on Centennial City Council. The district itself is comprised of Centennial, Littleton, also Ken Carroll Valley, home to over 133,000 people, the South Metro area, Quebec, all the way down to County Line, and then up to kind of West Bulls area, a little bit of Littleton Boulevard. Orchard is going to be the northern boundary. But yes, what makes this seat so fascinating is 2 years ago it was redistricted, and so the current incumbent didn't actually win the entire district. So they see it as an open seat. In that redistricting process, there were 16 precincts gained, all primarily in Jefferson County, because it's both Jeffco and Arapahoe County, that are heavily conservative. So that's what makes it, competitive and winnable. The breakdown, you'll find this is very fascinating. 50%, that's 50, of Senate District 16 is unaffiliated or independent. 26% is Republican, and 24% is going to be Democratic. So we have a slight lead, but not by much. We're taking nothing for granted.
Yeah, that is a big, those are big numbers, 50% unaffiliated. And you can kind of get a sense of why the messaging around being an independent leader is important for this district. Talk about that. Talk about what you're hearing from people as you knock doors.
Yeah, well, the vast majority they're fed up with the extremes, and they want, in fact, the Centennial Citizen did a poll a couple months ago, and actually I've seen it twice. They came out with one in June and then a little bit later in the fall. And both times, the number one desire from voters was going to be good governance and democracy, which in my mind translates to balanced government, right? And that is what I have seen, I've practiced, I've learned on Centennial City Council, because when I ran back in 2021 for council, I couldn't have an R behind my name. It's nonpartisan. So when you come to city council, you put your, partisan politics aside, you put your political agendas aside, and you do what's best for the voters, for the residents. And we need, I think it's loud and clear from Coloradans, that's what they want under the Golden Dome. The days of the political partisanship right now, it's plaguing our state. It's not helpful to anyone. And by the way, we have one party in control. If we're not feeling that already, we have one party in control of absolutely everything, pulling every political lever in the state. And some of those policies we've not even seen, they've not even started to take place yet. So, and I want to make mention, if your listeners don't already know this, it's why this race and my seat is so critical as a challenger, because the Senate is one seat away from becoming a super minority. So you've got 35 elected representatives, right? The Republicans hold 12 seats. We're still in the minority, but we hold a third. If we lose even one seat, and I'm competing as if that is the seat I'm running for, right? If we lose even one seat, we dip into a super minority, and basically the governor, even I say whether you love him or loathe him, he doesn't even have veto power. So you talk about some crazy that could take place, and there won't be any backstops to keep that from happening. So
right, Jared Polis couldn't even stop this anymore. That's how progressive it will be if the Democrats have a supermajority there.
Right. And I'll just say this too, Jeff and Bill, they are running hard. My race alone, we're one of the top 5 targeted Senate races. And in my race alone, the other side has invested over $150,000 against me in attack ads. Okay. And this is all coming, the vast majority is coming from outside Colorado. It's special interest, dark money, which, after 4 years at the Capitol, this shouldn't be a surprise, with the opponents. It's no surprise. And so we're not anywhere, we've not raised anywhere near that. We still are second in fundraising of those top 5 Senate races, which is really, really strong. We're only second next to Senator Cleve Simpson, who's an incumbent, and we're not that far behind him, which is pretty fantastic. Again, coming from city council, but we are still actively fundraising. And what this says is it motivates me to keep working even harder, because it tells me we are over the targets, and they are scared, and I am a real threat. And so, I've asked our current supporters and others, dig in a little bit deeper. If you can give a little bit more, not that we're going to ever come to raise as much as they have, but so we can, fight back and blunt the attacks that come. But I'm actually, it's funny. My kids came home last week and they said, Mom, our friends told us you were on the Monday Night Football game. There was a really mean ad about you, and my son's a football player. And I just said, yeah. And I go, what did your friends say? Mom, they knew it was fake. They knew it was a lie. And, that's what I'm hearing over and over again. It's like, Robyn, how extreme can you be? You're on city council, for goodness sake, and it's the same talking points as they gave to us, 2 years ago, 4 years ago. There's nothing new under the sun. But I tell you what, it motivates me to work even harder, because it tells me the people of Colorado and Senate District 16, they need a real representative, somebody who will accurately fight for them under the Golden Dome, doing what's best for Colorado. And that person is me, Robyn Carnes.
If you want to know more about Robyn Carnes, you can visit her website, carnesforcolorado.com. That's CARNES FOR, Colorado.com. She's running in Colorado Senate District 16. All right, last question, Robyn. It's Halloween night. What are you doing to win votes?
Oh man. Well, okay. So first of all, we're going to have great candy we're handing out. I actually going to be on another radio show tonight at 5:30. So.
Oh, sorry.
Then...
You're cutting out. I have no idea. Goodbye. I can't. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. No, I'm just teasing you.
Come on, Bill. Come on, Bill. Come on.
I'm just
so
teasing.
I will tell you, my husband and I, it's kind of funny. We're both bird names. He's a Jay and I'm a Robyn. So they call us the birds. So we were going to be Angry Birds for Halloween.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like no, actually we were going to dress up as Shenanigans wearing purple yard signs. We're going to a Halloween party tonight at some friends in the neighborhood. So it'll be a good
that's
time.
Fantastic. Now, Robyn Carnes, Colorado candidate for Senate District 16. Growing up, what was your favorite costume as a kid? What was that one costume that you're like, yeah, I look good? What is it?
Oh gosh, what was it? Oh, that's really hard. Well, this is kind of funny. My mom, she was a fantastic seamstress. And so one time she made me like a shark, an actual shark costume.
Wow.
Like does, which is, yeah. But I grew up on a farm and I tell you what, I grew up on a farm in Iowa and we always had like a big bonfire. And I mean, it was and it was the end of harvest season usually, so everybody in the community got together and celebrated and we just ate a lot of candy and, had a good time in the community. So
all right.
That's great.
Now when the kids come home when they were younger and you had to go through the candy bag because you were, of course, inspecting it using the
I call it the parent tax.
Absolutely, parent
so
tax.
you can live under my house
Yes.
and under this roof for free. I am going to take
You know what it is?
what I want.
And again, here's the thing: it is a learning exercise. It's about adulthood. That's what it is. It's a growth. It's a growth opportunity for our kids. Okay, what candy are you picking out of the bag? What are the candies you go through? What is your go-to?
Oh, my go-to, anything Reese's Pieces. I love the Reese's Pieces, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Those are so yummy. They used to have this candy bar when I was young called a whatchamacallit.
Yes.
And that was really good too. Remember those?
Yes, I remember when it debuted.
Favorite.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it had like Rice Krispies on the inside and had chocolate and it had peanut butter in it. Yeah, whatchamacallit was the bomb. Absolutely.
They were so good. But here's what we've done for the past couple of years because it's just insane how much candy the kids come home with. We will do what's called the Switch Witch.
What's that?
So here's the deal. If the kids will give us the candy, we'll give them money in exchange for that. Because all that candy, you know what I'm saying? So it's a switch win. So we take the candy, we'll donate to some place, and then they get a little bit of cash.
Sure,
it's
donate.
It's a win-win for everybody. Yeah, right. Keeping all the Reese's, right?
Okay, so what's the exchange rate for candy in the Carnes household? That's what I'm balancing myself. I'm like, what's the exchange rate here? Am I going to be able to make money on this?
Well, as they get older, it gets more expensive. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah, does it ever?
Well, you've got some grown boys and even some football players out there, so they go nuts on that candy. It helps in football.
Yeah. I know they do love it. I know, especially when they play the line, right? It's kind of fun. Our kids, great. Jeff, did you tell the crew that our kids play on the same football team?
I did not, but that was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to see Robyn and her husband out there regularly.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Go Warriors.
Yeah, go Warriors. That's great.
Right. Robyn Carnes, she's running for Colorado Senate District 16. Her website, carnesforcolorado.com. This is a big one. This is a pickup. This would allow Republicans to have more control in the Senate, push back against the radical leftist agenda. Remember, it was the assault weapons ban that died in the Senate because it wasn't chocked full of progressives like the House was. That's important for our Second Amendment rights. Robyn, thanks so much for taking time to join the Jeff and Bill show.
Thank you. Happy Halloween.
You bet. Thanks for having me on. Have a great day. Bye.
Hey, speaking of great people, I want to talk to you about my friend Dan Kaplis and his law firm, Dan Kaplis Law. By the way, I saw what Dan's dressing up for us today.
What? Okay, no. Okay, wait. I got to guess. Is he going to be Perry Mason?
Nope.
No, he's not a lawyer. It's
highly news relevant, similar to what I'm dressing up as.
Oh, what is it?
He's wearing the trash man vest.
Yes.
I like DJT.
Nice. Nicely done.
Danny C. Good job, Dan. Look, Dan recommends that you choose a lawyer who represents you in an injury case who shares your values. That's important, right? You don't want to just hire somebody that you saw on a billboard go by or on a bus stop. You know, this is somebody who shares your values. He's pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. That matters because you're going to send a message to everybody else involved in the case that you're a serious person. But more than just being a guy with great values, Dan is a real winner. Listen to some of these statistics. Dan is believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado history. Boom. Dan Caplis Law is so trusted that he is the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Dan Caplis Law is a serious firm for serious cases, and you're probably thinking to yourself, I can't afford this guy. It's not true. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. If you need Dan's help, give him a call at 303-770-5551. That's 303-770-5551, or hit dancaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S Law.com. We'll continue with the Jeff and Bill Show.
Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS.
At this hour, I'm Christina Owayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. DPS troopers in Texas arrested a driver from Missouri after leading officials on a chase through several different ranches in an effort to escape being caught by law enforcement in Kinney County, Texas. According to DPS, Raymond Dominguez Jennings is being charged with human smuggling for smuggling 4 illegal migrants from Honduras and Mexico. Troopers then arrested the 4 illegal migrants for criminal trespass. Dominguez Jennings had bolt cutters used to cut ranch fences and admitted to being paid $8,000 to smuggle. A judge has handed a victory to the Trump campaign, who filed an emergency lawsuit after election officials in Bucks, Pennsylvania, started telling long lines of people who showed up to vote, likely Republicans, to go home. They also were caught cutting off voting access hours before voting was scheduled to end. According to the RNC chairman, Michael Whatley, the judge ordered, quote, extended early in-person voting through November 1st. 3 extra days, to accommodate voters who were disenfranchised. The judge also found that Bucks County violated election code. The decision comes shortly after the U.S. Supreme Court handed Governor Glenn Youngkin a victory, ruling that Virginia can purge 1,600 non-citizens from the voter rolls. Youngkin filed the appeal with SCOTUS after a lower court ruled to reinstate the non-citizens to the voter rolls. That's what you need to know at this hour. In Dallas, Christina Owayo, Salem News Channel.
RockyMountainBargains.com, where you'll always pay half price. Why pay retail when you can get what you want at 50% off? Just go to RockyMountainBargains.com and save. Here's this week's featured item.
A Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Serve Coffee Maker valued at $200. Get it now for half price.
Get it now at RockyMountainBargains.com for 50% off. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you always pay half price. Restrictions apply. Go to RockyMountainBargains.com for complete details.
I know this song. Is this a Halloween song?
Werewolves of London? How is this not a Halloween song?
Oh, I thought this was Sweet Home Alabama.
No, this is Warren Zevon, Werewolves of London. Yes. Here it is. See? Some good covers of this, too. Yeah. It plays at Christmas. They look at you weird. Can't even do this at Thanksgiving. Oh. There's so many good Halloween songs. I need a DJ a Halloween party tonight is what I need. That'd make me happy.
Well, we got a little breaking news coming from the Trump campaign.
Yes.
A letter from Trump's attorneys to Jenna Griswold. Dear Secretary Griswold, this firm represents Donald J. Trump and the President 2024 Incorporated. Yesterday, it was revealed that your office publicly disclosed BIOS passwords for voting system equipment for 63 of Colorado's 64 counties, beginning in at least August of 2024 and continuing through Thursday, October 24th. We're particularly concerned because your office knew of the security breach at least as early as October 24th, yet concealed the problem by failing to notify anyone. As you know, anyone in possession of current BIOS passwords and with access to affected election systems would have the ability to alter the trusted build of those systems without leaving signs of tampering in the software. Hence, this disclosure by your office, which we assume was inadvertent given the knowing publication of the information constitutes a Class 5 felony, George Brauchler talked about that, makes it essential that you act immediately to protect the integrity of Colorado's general election with 6 days remaining before Election Day. This was a letter sent yesterday, by the way. There is a path forward. Under Colorado law and current election regulations, you must immediately do the following. 1, identify those counties for whom the BIOS passwords listed in the spreadsheet disclosed by your office were current as of the most recent trusted build. Number 2, immediately notify the affected counties in order a new trusted build is required due to, quote, another security issue, unquote, under Election Rule 20.6.1. Your office should complete the required trusted build expeditiously. Once the trusted build is in place in the affected counties, these counties should be directed to immediately conduct a new logic and accuracy test for their election equipment. Number 3, for these counties for whom a new trusted build is required, direct them to immediately halt the processing of mail ballots received and prepare to rescan all mail ballots already scanned after the new trusted build and logic and accuracy tests are completed. As you know, this is possible because although most counties have already begun to process and scan returned ballots, no county is permitted to disclose results until 7 p.m. on Election Day. We recognize these steps may be an inconvenience for you and your office for the affected counties, but this inconvenience is necessary because it's the only way to guarantee that the election equipment in these counties whose current BIOS passwords were disclosed by your office are secure and that the chain of custody for the equipment required by Colorado and regulations is unbroken. Wow. Oh, guess who the signatory, who wrote this letter?
Who?
Scott E. Gessler.
Hey, Scott
former.
Gessler. Man.
What was cool. Was he Secretary of State?
I don't remember.
He was the honey badger.
Yeah. That's interesting. And that's curious. And there is a narrative inside of there. And again, all those points are absolutely and completely and totally valid. There's a narrative inside of there that's very interesting.
He was former Secretary of State from 2011 to 2015.
Smart for him to be the signatory. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
boom.
It's interesting in there because the thing that he outlines that you have to do is the trusted build and logic and accuracy test. That's weird. That's weird that's what the Trump campaign is pushing for. And the reason why is, remember, that's what Tina Peters didn't trust.
Yeah.
That's what Tina Peters got in trouble for because she said this trusted build isn't trustworthy, that we can't trust it. This is how they're manipulating the machines. This is how the steal is done by the trusted build. This is Dominion coming in and changing everything and making sure all of their nefarious plans are instituted. Yet when Trump's campaign is concerned about it. They want that process, a process they complained about post 2020, a process they said was untrustworthy post 2020. But now here, it's trustworthy. Here, we have to go through it to prove that the system works, which for me says the Trump campaign knew the system worked all the time. They were just floating crap after 2020. They knew it worked. They knew it worked. They wouldn't be asking for it here if they thought it didn't work, because we haven't changed anything. Hasn't been a single machine replaced, nothing else like that.
What do you think about the rescanning, though? That's going to be a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
To stop everything, delete that, and then rescan everything.
Oh, it's huge. And here's the thing for me is I'm not against it. And if that's the steps that we need to take so that everybody in the process feels that it is secure, then I'm all for it. And I'm all for, finding the extra tax money and time to do it, but also telling the Colorado voters our results are going to be delayed by several days because of this. If that's what it does so that we all feel good about it, fine. I don't think it's necessarily needed. I'm not certain you have to go back and look at the trusted build and rebuild that operating system because, and again, I'm not sure the machine inside is not that complicated. I disagree with the premise that if you had the BIOS passwords, you can go in and alter the machine without people knowing, because you still leave fingerprints behind. The machine doesn't do anything without hanging on to a record of it. And so there's going to be something in there you're going to be able to pull that's going to show access and what was done and when. And you could verify whether or not, and that would be pretty easy to counter and say, okay, the passwords were used on this date at this time. Who that has those passwords and did the access? If no one did, now you have a thread that you can pull and say, okay, someone that shouldn't have had access accessed the machine. But Bill, I'm not sure.
Look, I sure appreciate
invisible.
All these details.
Yeah,
I do. My brain just turned off, and I'll tell you why.
I know that's how deep my brain.
Like I sit and I'm just like, was it always like this? Because I don't remember voting in my first election, which would have been when I just turned 18. I turned 18 October 24th.
Yeah.
Of 2000. So it was Bush 2000, Bush v. Gore.
Yeah.
And I remember just going to a local church and voting. And that night, everybody knew. And now we're sitting here with letters back and forth and BIOS passwords and trusted builds. And
here's the thing, though, is
this giant mess. I'm like, okay, we just go back. What's wrong with a society being like, oh, kind of blew it on this mail-in ballot issue. Nobody's happy. You could have a Secretary of State in jail. You have a county clerk already in jail.
Well, here's the thing is that
you turn it.
Here's the thing. One, though, is number of ballots is a problem. That everybody seems to look at the idea and say, well, what we were doing 30 years ago worked, so why can't we do that? We have infinitely more people. So the process, we have a lot more people that are voting. And so that means the process.
But I'd rather stand in line.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. To deal with this?
No, liar. Yeah. And here's the reason why. How long?
No.
And the reason I say that is how long are you willing to wait in line at Chick-fil-A? How long are you willing to How long are you willing to wait in line at the merch aisle when you're at the concert? We don't want to wait in line. That's the argument that we have. Hang on a second.
Deal with this. Dude, I can't make any sense of how we vote anymore.
Hang on, though, but let me get through this for a second. Because look at our medical system. We talked about this last week, that we pay more and get worse results than any other developed nation that is our equivalent. And the argument is we don't have to wait in line. That's the number one thing, is all about they wait in line everywhere else. We don't want to wait in line. There's a group of people that are Trump supporters in Pennsylvania that within the last 24 hours have filed complaints about election interference. Do you know why? Lines are too long. The changes that the Republican legislature did in Pennsylvania have led to longer lines at the polling places. The Trump supporters are filing a complaint saying those longer lines are now election interference.
Here's the question.
But they're claiming because I have to wait in line so long, you're trying to burn me out.
Would you rather?
I disagree that we want to wait in line.
Well, here's the question for our listeners then, Mr. Bill. Bandit Bill, by the way.
Yes.
Would you rather have mail-in ballots with all the complications that come with trusted builds and BIOS passwords and Donald Trump's now led by Scott Gessler asking for all the ballots to be recounted? Holy cow. Or would you rather go wait in line a little bit longer and the election is decided that evening as opposed to a week later?
How do we know the election will be decided that evening?
Because it was at one point.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't certified until days afterwards. Here's the idea.
Well, 2004. You had these like one-offs with hanging chads.
No, for decades, we haven't certified the election until days
But that's
afterwards.
certification, but you had media calling it.
I know, but media calling it is not the same as we know. And we've seen that
Yeah,
before.
I know that, but it seems way longer. Way longer.
Because more people and the process is more complex. I will concede
I think the process is more complex.
But here's the thing. But it's a misunderstanding that 20 years ago, we knew the results on that night. We didn't. We knew where everybody was and who was ahead, and they called those states and we decided who won, but we didn't have final totals until days afterwards. It's always been this way. And the reason, here's the reason why.
I don't think it's always been this way.
How long have we been voting by mail? How long have our GIs been voting by mail? Decades.
You didn't have any big overturned elections.
But you had to wait to count all their ballots before you could actually certify the results and say, here's our winner. You always had to wait. We've been waiting for decades. It's just the fact that, yes, we have.
Do.
Yes.
But look,
No, we have.
I think we're splitting hairs. We're saying, well, yeah, it always took a while for the official votes to be certified and everything to come in and all that stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that we have such a broken voting system that you're literally having lawsuits being filed right away, efforts to recount all the ballots in Colorado, Maricopa County saying it's going to be 10 to 15 days until we figure it out. The idea that it has always been this divisive, this broken, this complicated is not true.
No, yeah, absolutely. I could see that. Absolutely. It's not true. It wasn't until 2020 when people filed over 60 election fraud lawsuits that things got so complicated. Before then, there were issues, but not on this level. It wasn't until one group of people decided to go, oh my God, this is broken. We can't possibly do this, and file over 60 lawsuits.
No, I don't think it's one side that did this.
One came to it. Oh, no.
I think the other side's made it so complicated that we're now in this position because we didn't have all mail-in ballots till 2012 in Colorado.
Yeah, but there wasn't any real large issue, after that until recently. And then people are just mad about it.
Except for we've become a deep blue state ever since then. All right, we got phone lines. Bill and I had such a fun Halloween show. And then, of course, Donald Trump sent a letter via Scott Gessler. And here we go.
And then we got to do this. Oh, it's the time. It's those things that just come out of nowhere that cause the pain. And I know how you feel about that. That sometimes there are things that happen in your life that end up creating pain later on. I've got that. I've had shoulder surgery over 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I had back surgery. I've had more than 500 stitches. And I thought as I got older, I just had to live my life in pain. That's how my grandparents lived. I saw all their friends complain about their pain all the time. When you go out to lunch with grandma and grandpa, first 20 minutes was what hurts. You had that too. And you think as we're getting older together, life just means pain as you get older, and it doesn't. That's why I want to have you talk to my friends at Balance Wellspace. I've connected with an amazing medical team at Balance Wellspace. They are a brand new medical team that is here in Colorado, new offices in Lowry, right across from Hangar 2, plenty of parking. Check them out at balancewellspace.com, balancewellspace.com. The difference is integrative medicine. You get a whole bunch of treatments under one roof. It's a one-stop shop. We're talking about regenerative care, trigger point injections, wave therapy, physical rehabilitation, neuropathic care, chiropractic care, and a whole bunch of Star Trek level non-invasive stuff that you just got to see in order to believe. Now, what you do to Balance Wellspace, you give them a call, and then you sit down with Dr. Julie, Dr. Jess, and the medical team. They evaluate you. They ask you about what hurts. And then the things that's most important, what are you not doing that you still need to? Person I was talking to in the office the other day was talking about just going up and down the stairs, how that was a pain to live their regular life. They were looking at moving out of their house because they couldn't live in the two-story anymore. After doing the work at Balance Wellspace, they're now navigating those stairs without a problem. They think they can continue to age in that home and stay there for a while. This is life-changing. I have two vertebrae in my back that are fusing together. As we're talking about it, the disc right now is regenerating. I'm regenerating the meniscus in my left knee as we're talking about it. My left knee used to be my bad knee. That's my right knee that's giving me problems. I'll have to have Dr. Julie and Dr. Jess work on that one. That's the difference they can make in your life. It has been nothing more than simply remarkable and life-changing for me. And I want you to experience the same difference. But you got to talk to them first. BalanceWellSpace.com, BalanceWellSpace.com. They can make the same change in your life they made in mine. Got to talk to them first. And when you do, tell them you heard about them here on the Jeff and Bill Show, because it helps us out.
That's great to hear, Bill. Text messages coming in, lots of them, 8422. Would you rather wait in line and get the vote right or mail in 200 million ballots and get the vote wrong? We took something so simple and turned it into such a complicated nightmare.
How do we get to the assumption of right versus wrong? You've made a conclusion and then worked backwards on that one, Texter.
Let's go to the phone lines and text messages. Feel free to give us a call, 8422. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
RockyMountainBargains.com, where you'll always pay half price. Why pay retail when you can get what you want at 50% off? Just go to RockyMountainBargains.com and save. Here's this week's featured item.
A Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Serve Coffee Maker valued at $200. Get it now for half price.
Get it now at RockyMountainBargains.com for 50% off. RockyMountainBargains.com, where you always pay half price. Restrictions apply. Go to RockyMountainBargains.com for complete details.
This is music, though.
Just for you, my friend, right here at the end. I'll give you the Johnny Cash. Then you're going to see your soul. This is for you.
I love when he does the songs with Willie Nelson, the Highwayman, all that stuff. Oh, best voice.
God, he's so
Look,
talented.
if you're losing your hair, you need a simple solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology with top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need Dr. Tanya Pauls and her team at Advanced Hair. They've completely redefined hair restoration from the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, or thinning hair, address them all with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment with the most experienced professionals. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of these breakthrough treatments, and get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. Hey, have a much better Halloween next year with fixing those hair issues. So give them a call at advancedhair.com. 720-459-HAIR. It's been a wonderful show. If you missed any of it, go to 710knus.com. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710K in US. Happy Halloween.